Full shit, you know what I'm saying? Like, just some social shit for everyone, you know what I'm saying? Like, I made this be myself, so hit me. I mean, like, we can pull that clown shit away. There's some real shit for you. I'm spazzing right now, so listen, let's go. Yeah, it's in their bones, the thugs in harmony for the love of the money. Then fall victim for the cookie, then turn pussy, it's lonely. You said you hold it down when life get rough, we're here now, so show me. We move them losses to them wins. Heavy pounds, we make it ends meet. Converse with only a few who make me feel like I be 10 feet.
Yo, what's going on, man? Good morning to everybody, man. I ain't done one of these early morning streams in a minute, man. Bless up to everybody. Friday and that weekend is coming. Well, the weekend is here, should I say, man. It is here. Like I say, man, smash a like, share, and subscribe. Big up to everybody in the building, whether you're live or on the replay. Let me just go through some of the comments. Big up goal ratio in the building. You guys can, of course, see the topic that we're about to dive into today. And I think it's an interesting one because I hear a lot of people talking about it, you know, over like the last, like really and truly the whole season, to be fair. But in the last like couple of weeks, couple of days specifically, you know, people have spoken about Liverpool. How good have they really been this season? I read an article actually this morning, Jamie Carragher, you know, talking about, you know, Liverpool and in terms of how good they've been. You know, we've only lost one game and all of these kind of things, but Liverpool still needs 6 players. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm like, right, okay, so are we good? Like, are we not good? Like, it's just interesting to kind of see everyone's kind of opinion, you know, based upon, you know, this season. Of course, it looks like Liverpool are going to go on to, you know, win the Premier League as well. So yeah, it's just interesting hearing everyone's different viewpoints and trying to understand, because of course, like, listen, rivals are going to be rivals and people are going to have their own opinion on what they deem to be good, whatever they perceive to be a good team, bad team, whatever the case may be. So it's interesting hearing how people view their own team in retrospect to everything else, man. But Gorish is saying, one, we have 3 points more than this time last season. We went on to win the next game and draw the one after. We're basically doing as well as we did last season. It's the other title challenges that have dropped off. Yeah, now that's a fair point. If the other title challengers find their feet next season, yeah, hey, listen, man, it's going to be interesting. And big up JJ in the building, the gaffer. As I mentioned before, man, look, Liverpool are on a 26 Premier League unbeaten streak at the moment, which is crazy. When you think back to some of the games that we played, Newcastle 3-3, do you get what I'm trying to say? Like, drawing to Manchester United, drawing to Aston Villa. Like, yeah, man, we've dodged a few results this season. I won't even lie. We have dodged a few results, a few games where I thought, Jesus Christ. And by the way, that is testament to Liverpool. Do you get what I mean? I have to big up Liverpool in that regards to be able to go through some of these games and navigate a draw when the reality is you probably came out of that game and thought to yourself, you know what, we probably deserve to lose that, you know. We probably deserve to not get the 3 points anyway, but you know what, we did enough to get a point, you know, kind of thing. And it's always, I always say when teams are able to breed this level of consistency that Liverpool have shown, in my personal opinion, that's always something to be proud of, you know, because it's difficult to be so consistent, you know, throughout a season. Liverpool have only lost once this entire season. That in itself deserves plaudits, you know, because it's a difficult thing to go this long in the Premier League. We're now game? I think, yeah, that's our 30th game. I'm sure, yeah, our 30th game of the Premier League season, and we only lost once. I have to big up Liverpool, you know, in that regards. I have to, because, you know, that's a difficult feat to be able to achieve, you know, even at this point in the season. Usually Man City have lost like 2 or 3 games, if not more, you know, at this point. Even though they might still be top, they've usually lost a few more games, but we haven't, you know, and our defeats have come more so, you know, in other competitions, man. Good morning, JJ, man. How are you, bro?
I'm all right, man. I'm all right. How you guys doing, bro?
Midday, dog. Midday, man. I said, I was in the back office with ENDZ and Savage last night. We were just chatting about this whole, are Liverpool that good, and, you know, rare tear, man. But nah, I love for joining me this morning. Let me get your take on it, man. Like, obviously, before we take a look at like some other little bits that I've got up here. Yeah, like, obviously we've spoken about Liverpool, of course. You know what I mean? This season, obviously, we went to the game together, West Ham away, and we were chatting about, you know what I mean, like some of the things that we saw, didn't see, etc., etc. Pick up Hakeem in the building. Who's York and who's Cole, bro? I don't know. Like York's a bit mad with, you know what I mean, with what he does off field and that. I'd rather be Cole, but we'll leave that one.
I don't know, bro. Hold on. We've got to analyze who had a kid first, innit? Because I ain't had a kid yet. And now York could have had a kid from time ago. So boy, man tried to style it on me. Man tried to style me. No.
It's calm, man. It's calm. Fuck it. I'll be York and he can be Cole. Yeah, man. Like, how have you kind of seen it? You know, in terms of like the way that people have spoken, obviously this season. And I just said before you came on, I saw Jamie Carragher put out an article this morning, and he's talking about Liverpool look like they're going to win the league. I can't remember if we're like only the fifth team at this point in the Premier League history to ever be only on one defeat come this at this stage of the season. But he said, now Liverpool still need to sign 6 players though, you know, kind of thing. And then obviously just talks about like the areas of the team that he feels Liverpool need to improve upon, and etc., etc. How do you see it then? Because on one hand, we're saying Liverpool, well, some people say Liverpool been brilliant, we've been amazing this season. But on the flip side, we've spoken, yeah, we need this player, or we need this position, this position, this position. So how good are we? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, it's a weird one because I've actually been thinking about it a lot, right? And I've actually been trying to find examples of where that might have happened.
Yeah, same.
And the best example I've been able to find, right, in recent memory, because I went back, but I don't remember them ones, is I know Terry spoke about Chelsea and stuff. I don't really remember that one like that. But United, when their last season under Fergie, where their old heads are still there, where Van Persie does the madness, they sign a Van Persie just for that season. You know what I mean? He does a crazy thing, but you look at their team and you're like, bruv, like I've seen Cleverly get bare games. I've seen this man get bare games. Fletcher was get there every game. Do you know what I mean? You had Welbeck playing at times, and it was one of them ones where it was just like, oh, this team isn't good, but the difference is because United had won so often and been up there and thereabouts, and what Ferguson had done, you just trusted them in terms of like they're doing the business, and you had to rate them in it. You had to rate what they were doing. They had Valencia on the wing, they had Ashley Young, another one. That Ryan Giggs playing in midfield, I think it was. If I might be wrong, don't quote me on that. But I actually need to look at that team. But actually, let me have a look at that team. Actually, is it?
I was literally trying to, as he was talking there, I was trying to find it. It was 12-13 season. So
yeah, I've got it here. Hold on. Yeah, so you're talking a team, yeah, of obviously David De Gea, Lindegaard, Ben Amos, Sam Johnston. You had Vidic, Phil Jones, Chris Smalling, an old Rio Ferdinand. He was 34 at the time. You had Vidic, who was 31. You had Michael Keane, who obviously didn't get any games. You had Patrice Evra, that was 32. Butner, that played a lot of games that season.
The left back. Yeah, I remember. Yeah.
You had Ashley Young, who was 27. Antonio Valencia. You had Raphael, Fabio, Michael Carrick, Tom Cleverley, Anderson, Darren Fletcher, Paul Scholes, that came back. He was 38 years old that season. So he was 30. I mean, you had Ryan Giggs, who was 39, who was there. You had obviously Kagawa that they signed.
Kagawa, yes.
Yeah. you had Nani, you had Lingard, and then you had obviously like Zaha, a couple of these others, man, that were on loan. Welbeck. Joshua Key, but the team weren't great in it. Like when you look at the best United teams, that team was all right. Now we only look back on it now and we think, yeah, that team was good because they won it, innit?
Yeah, of course.
If you had looked at that team, you'd have been like, no, that team was dead. That's dead. Like,
bro, it sounds fucking shit, bro.
Like you had Fabio, this, you had like, do you know what I mean? You went from having like Ronaldo and Tevez, you had like Antonio Valencia, that was, are you all right? All we did is run down the line and whip it in. And he was decent, but he weren't like, he weren't Ronaldo, innit? And I compare it to kind of what we got right now, where you look at these man, Ashley Young, and you're like, yeah, they're decent. They're calm. They're good players. They're not the best of the best. And United were known for having the best of the best. Like, they're relying on a 38-year-old, Scholes to come and save this, to come in and pop in, play in midfield. And you look at it and I'm like, that's what Liverpool are in. So Liverpool are in a situation where it is a transition because of the age of Virgil van Dijk, because of the age of Salah, because of Alisson, because of Robbo, because Trent might be leaving. So there isn't that stability, and we're not entirely convinced of the players that have come in before because they're not of that level, and it's going to be difficult to get players at that level. So I think we look at it and we're like, rah, like we're dead. But I think that's comparing it to the best of the best. I think even this season, even if City were on it, it'd still be tight, in my opinion. I don't think Liverpool would have been, do you know what I mean, horrible, because you might have lost against City, but you would have still beaten the other teams around. And if you think about it, you could argue the other teams around right now are probably a bit better. Like, they're better than they have been. I think they're progressively getting better. We're looking at these players in these lower teams. They're like, we're saying, 40 M's, take him for Liverpool. Livramento, take him, bro. Newcastle was 6th. Like, do you know what I mean? We're talking about players that are up and down the table to come in and improve this squad. Suggests to me that the levels of the obviously of the lower teams, or supposed lower teams, are getting better. And I just think that's where City and Arsenal have struggled. It's not, when you think about it, Arsenal they didn't lose to us. Yeah, we beat City. City are the ones who you look at. Yeah, they've lost their big games, but Arsenal haven't. They dropped points in the games that were do you know what I mean, against the lower teams. And ultimately, like, even if they had not dropped points, they'd be there or thereabouts. I think they'd be close. And for me, that's why I look at it and I'm like, you know what? Yeah, it's a weird one. It's like, we know the best of Liverpool. That is the standard now. And until we get to that standard, we're always going to be saying, that team's rubbish. No matter who you get. You could take Salah away and you could bring a right wing in that gets you 10 goals, 10 assists in the Prem. And we'll be complaining. I'm just letting you know, we'll be complaining.
Of course. I know.
The only way we could do that is if you get rid of Salah, but Isak comes in and gets 30 goals in the season. Like for like. You're not going to be happy with anything right now. If you bring in a centre back, 𝐒𝐃, I like 𝐒𝐃, but you bring in 𝐒𝐃 and he gets dribbled past in his first 2 games. You ain't going to be happy because Virgil didn't get dribbled past for 2 years or whatever it was.
That's what I said. So that's what I said. It's going to be peak when he gets dribbled past just once.
So for me, that's the summary of it. I think Liverpool are good. I think they've got a good basis. I don't think it's terrible, but when you compare it to the standard that Liverpool have had in the past, it's not at that level. And it's going to take a while for Liverpool to get back to the level. We're talking, it could be 10 years. To get the best of the best. If we are able to do that now, talking about the best recruitment of all time, like in terms of a rebuild, you know what I mean?
Nah, facts, man. And listen, I fully agree with what you're saying, especially that last bit about the whole 𝐒𝐃 thing, because that's true, bro. I already know. And 𝐒𝐃's not even a scrub, like, so if he comes in and I don't know if he misplaces the pass, like if he tries a diagonal to whoever the right winger is next season, if it's Salah or someone else, and it doesn't go through, or it goes over Salah's head or something, or doesn't land perfectly at his feet like Virgil's, I already know what everybody's going to be on, for next season, man. But I think, listen, man, like I said, I have to big up Liverpool because obviously everything's contextual. The reality is you beat what's in front of you. You know what I mean? Like, Liverpool ain't worried about, who's good or who's not good. Man City being shit is not Liverpool's issue. Arsenal injuries and stuff like that affect it. It doesn't matter for Liverpool. Someone's still got to go out there and win the leagues. Nottingham Forest don't care. Look at them sitting in 3rd place right now. Like, and the thing is, I looked at it yesterday after the Chelsea game, bro. They're 3rd place, but they're 5 points ahead of Chelsea. So this ain't even a 3rd place, but we might get overtaken in 1 game. No, they got at least 2 games before Chelsea can even think about overtaking them. Did you get what I'm saying? Which is banging.
And Chelsea still got Arsenal and Liverpool to play as well.
Yeah, exactly. So that's 2 games. Let's say 2 games out of the 8 they've got left. That's looking a bit sticky. I don't know who Forest, have got left in the league. And one thing I will agree is, I do think teams like Forest, the Brightons, Bournemouth, whatever, I do think those type of teams have gotten better. But I also think that the level at the top has dropped a bit, which has allowed for the gap to just kind of close a little bit. What do you
think the levels? What if you think that, right? Just playing the, not even playing the.
No.
If you think the levels dropped, what do you think's made the level drop?
I just think that the top teams are going through like their own transition. So Manchester City going through a transition period because players, ages, and all of that kind of thing. So they need to start their own new cycle while still trying to remain competitive. Liverpool with the new manager, some players look like they're going to leave. I'm going to assume we're going to be going for a transitional period through this summer and into next season. So I feel like Liverpool have kind of remained the same because they're in almost like a good position to be able to do so. Arsenal, I also think the same as well in terms of, I don't even think Arsenal have gotten better or worse. I think they're exactly the same. Like they're exactly the same as they was last season. They're exactly the same as they was the season before. The only difference is a level of consistency. They just haven't been able to keep that up. But if you just looked at the team, the players, what they're doing, I'm like, yeah, you're kind of the same level. You haven't gotten any better, but you haven't gotten any worse. You're the same kind of level. Unfortunately for you, you've had your injuries in areas for you that are key positions. So your consistency this season has been shit. Whereas Liverpool have managed to maintain a mad level of consistency just throughout a season. I don't think Liverpool gotten any better or even any worse. I just think we're the same kind of level. So where no one is kind of moving forward, the other teams, that gives, if we're all like literally staying here and or maybe dropped a little bit in terms of Manchester City, the other teams have just started to do this a bit. Like, yeah, but the other teams just started to do this.
But that's my point, innit? If you look at it, really, it's only City that have dropped off. It's only City that have had the season where they've dropped off. You know, in past season when Liverpool have dropped off, it's City that have just dropped off. Arsenal, in the same position, really, right? In the same position, like roughly. I don't know how many points they had at this stage last season. But
so this is, I'll show you now. This is the table from last. There we go. That's the table from last season.
Okay, so they're 7 points worse off.
They were on 68 last season. Yeah. So this season they're 7 points worse off. Yeah.
So they're 7 points worse off. So cool.
Yeah.
We're talking about the games where, you know, they've like, again. So roughly they're still in that 60-point mark.
Yeah.
That's where I think the teams below have gotten better. And the problem you have is
I agree with that.
And that's why I don't think, like, I agree to your point. I think Arsenal are where they are. I think they've just stayed the same. I think the teams below. I think stylistically, I think the way football's played, I think the systems are getting better. People are clocking onto more stuff. They're able to kind of react to what you're doing. I think fitness-wise, people are clocking on. So, you know, like, teams move the needle. So, like, you know, like Liverpool moved the needle in terms of how much you got to run.
Yeah.
Their teams are running now. Liverpool don't even run like that anymore. But teams are running now. Teams are fit. So now that teams are fit, it's like, all right, we're able to just nullify what you can do. Now, Liverpool done that on a greater scale with better players. You got... Forest now that are, we're going to try and outrun you, but we're not as good as you. But what we're going to do is just try and nullify what you can do. Newcastle done the same thing. And what I'm seeing is, like, West Ham, to be fair, have done, is that last season or this season? That's
last season. Yeah,
I was going to say, I was like, where are West Ham there? I was like, United, huh? But
yeah.
Like United,
but look how far they've dropped off a cliff, though.
Exactly.
These guys,
exactly. Like United have dropped off, like West Ham dropped off, but the rest of them, when you look at it, like Villa are still in and amongst it. You always get that, you know. There's not consistency with like a West Ham and a Newcastle. You know they're going to be to and fro. But I think it's been quite similar. I just think there's more data involved. There's teams that are buying players now. And I think because the level and the way football's played is so different, if you can run and be fit, you're going to be there or thereabouts in terms of like, teams are going to be looking at you. Bro, think of the players we're linked with, bro. Yeah. Now, like, when you think of the players we're linked with, and I've heard you say it, bro, he could play for like a Villa, he could play for it.
But he could though.
Yeah, exactly. So if they can go and play for a Villa, if you can go play for a Villa, then clearly we're looking at it and thinking, like, we're saying that the players that we have could be playing for Villa and it'll be normal.
It's true.
And if we think that means the level of everyone's gotten better, like of the bottom teams anyway, of the bottom teams have gotten, like the top teams always have the good players, but the level of the bottom teams have gotten better. Think of it. Like Aina was a relegation fullback last year. This season he's third, and we're saying we take him at Liverpool. Man were telling me they'll take him over Trent. This is what we've seen in real life, but they're telling me they'll take him over Trent. So when I'm hearing this, and you're telling me Semenyo and Hato and 𝐒𝐀𝐃 and this, I'm like, cool. What you're telling me is you're watching those teams at 6th and 7th and saying that, they're better than these men here. Because that's the only time Liverpool should be signing players, you know, is if you think they're better than what you got now. There's no point buying players to be worse off than what you've got in the first team.
No, of course, you'd never want to do that. But that's what I'm saying is that, like, you're not funny in the chat. But this is what I'm saying is that, like,
I said it on purpose, Beaches. By the way, I knew you were in the chat.
He's just fucking with you, man. Lee Gunner said Elliot is better than Irvin. Yeah, I don't know about all that, bro. Yeah, I'm saying I'm not going to argue.
Yeah,
we're going to argue. Like the opinions are opinions. What I do want to say though is on that point that Jerry's obviously saying, right? We'll look at the results in a sec. So this is obviously Liverpool forward line, right? All 6 of the players. At some point this season, if not even now, I would say there is probably, if everybody had their way, there's probably only one attacker here that people would let go. And it isn't the one that everyone thinks I'm talking about. That's the maddest thing. Diaz, people want to see go. Jota, people want to see go. Salah, people are not really too fussed. Like, it's like, yeah, if he stays, great. Obviously, sign a new deal, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But if he was to go, people are like, okay, as long as we can get someone, suitable in, then it wouldn't be too much of an issue. Nunez, we already know that. Ain't nobody trying to see that brother here. Chiesa, no one cares. The guy, the manager doesn't care. Why would we as fans care, whether he stays or goes? It's really just Gakpo that people I've not seen too many people, if any, really, that have said to me this season, nah, you know what, fuck it. Like, Gakpo's got a bounce this season, blah, blah, blah. Not saying you can't upgrade on him, but I've not really seen anybody say, yeah, I'd want to sell. So that's 5 forwards that we're talking about in an attack that has 6. You look at the midfield. So Bozalai, people ain't been happy with him. Said we need a new number 10, rare tear tear. Jones, there's still discourse, but I think people are slowly the people who are dissing Jones or have dissed Jones, I feel like they've kind of slowly started to see, like, you know what? Maybe he can.
Style of football, they've realized, oh, that's what Jones is good at. Like when he was on the clock, you're viewing football like this. Like, that's the only way they can see football. So if you're not pressing, you're not sprinting like Szoboszlai and stuff, like, I think 2 seasons ago, we'd be looking at Szoboszlai and saying, no, Szoboszlai, yeah, he has to play, he's ended.
Of course. 1,000,000%.
No one talking about, pockets and this, and is he a facilitator? Is he a transformer? And all these words. Nah, you should be like, yeah, Szoboszlai's playing. 100%.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I totally, with that one, I agree. But now, I'm saying, big up ENNY. I know ENNY's like, bro, it's eyesore for him. You don't even like seeing Zobo really playing like that. And I hear it. I understand because of what you want to see in that position. But I can't, I'm saying? If you feel like you're not seeing it, fairs. But but in terms of the season, I've heard so much discourse about Szoboszlai. At the beginning of the season, I promise you, if we'd sold Gravenberch, nobody would have given 2 shits. Like, no one would have been like, oh my God, you sold Gravenberch. Obviously, he's had an amazing season. But I promise you, the beginning of the season, when we were doing lineups, we were trying to see, I promise you, I had Elliot in there and I didn't even think about Gravenberch. He wasn't even in my thought process to even, I thought, yeah, bench player coming, every night. He'll be like Endo. I thought he was going to get the Endo kind of minutes that Endo gets now. Like, yeah, give him like 10 minutes at the end of the game. Obviously, he's turned it around. Elliot, I'm hearing that Liverpool, apparently, from Melissa Reddy, is saying that Liverpool will accept a bid if it's a good offer for Harvey Elliott. You get what I'm trying to say? Endo, everyone's like Endo. I know people fuck with Endo, brother, but if a £20 million bid came for Endo,
he's a cult hero. That's what it is. He's a cult
hero.
Yeah,
a Origi type of vibe, man. You know what I'm saying?
No, but like Origi was there, but like people had questions over like his work rate. Endo's none of that. Endo just
of course,
good professional. He does, he's never speaking out of line. He will just do what's been told. And look, you need that in the team. But
of course,
man, that's screaming. Like, again, if 25 mil came for him, I've shot him, innit?
Bro, come on, bro. We got him for like 13, 15 mil. Like,
yeah, that's how you top. It's like a quick 1-bed flat you got in Liverpool somewhere. You go and get it renovated and you shot it, bro. You ain't trying to live there. Do you know what I mean? Unless you've got family, unless you're trying to go to the games, like us, man, innit? I know G would. He'd live in L5. But
I know that if Jay's had to throw that caveat in there, fucking hell. Don't worry, bro. No, I'm with you. There's still a big 6, but I don't call them that. I call them the Sky 6 because they are the big revenue favored clubs with the most focus from media pundits. Yeah. Okay, you see on that. And by the way, I agree. By the way, with Peaches here, yeah. You see with the big 6, right? Do you think they deserve to be called that? Because I feel like I've heard people talk about it. Like, oh yeah, like how are they called? Like, why is the big 6 this? I'm like, don't you feel like they deserved it though? Like, these are the big 6 for like biggest clubs. Like Tottenham slyly would have to be there purely on revenue. I don't think they're a big club like that, but based on their revenue, from what I hear, and the stadium that they've got, like I hear, yo, they move like an actual Big Six club. Like.
It's a weird one, isn't it? It's like you do that, but then what do you do? Like the more teams that become competitive, you just start adding it, top 7, top 8. Because I remember it used to be top 4, bro. It used to be that's all it was. Yeah. It was the big 4, the top 4. It was Liverpool, Arsenal, Chelsea, United. That was it. That was it. City came on the block, cool. Spurs came on the block, cool. What? So if Newcastle start doing what Aston Villa do, they start to come into it. If Forest get in the top, if they come top like 3 as well, top 4. If they come top 4 again, do they come into it? Like where do you stop it? Where do you stop it? If you're looking from a revenue standpoint, you could say I want them to use different words or like a different like describe it differently. Like describe it as, I don't know, the big markets. Like in America, they talk about that where they're the big. It's a market, not necessarily they're the big 6 at the best teams at this moment in time. But
is it like how the Lakers, even though they went years without winning a championship,
like Boston, like the Boston Celtics, like
yeah.
I mean,
which is mad, don't you think? Them man went years without winning and still considered a big team.
New York Knicks, yeah, and the Bulls. Yeah. Do you understand where when you they are iconic? When you go and think of an NBA, you think of those teams. You don't start looking at the Dallas Mavericks and Oklahoma City and even Golden State Warriors. Yes, in recent times they've been outstanding.
Yeah, but they weren't a team like that before.
Historically, you never thought of them as that team. Do you know what I mean? You had teams like the Seattle Sounders that had to change their name and that. Do you know what I mean? Like they obviously that can happen, but when you look at it, like look, Cleveland won. Do you know what I mean? But Cleveland aren't a big, do you know what I mean, market. And that's the way I'd like to describe it. If you're talking about like financially in terms of the revenue, the fan bases, then yeah, but I don't know. Is Spurs' fan base bigger than Villa's?
I would say yes, purely because of Son. I feel like Son.
So if he leaves, that's it.
yeah, boy, I think so. Like slightly.
Because right now, Son's moving crazy. It's looking scary, bruv. I never thought I'd say it, but he's looking bad for him, bro.
Yeah, but bro, like, come on, man. The guy's, how old is he? Like 30, 31, 32?
Yeah, that's
but you see, but the problem with players like him, right? See, players like him, because we watch, man, in prime, like the years we've seen Son play. Now we're watching, man, and you're like, brother, you look like you're about as fast as me right now. You know what I'm saying? And I don't even kickball like that. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Like, but I know that's just because, bro, your explosiveness. I don't know if you had an injury. Because even at this age, I still feel like you should still have a little bit, though. Like, I feel like you have none anymore. I just feel like he's someone who needs to just change his game now. Like, be a central striker, if anything, because you can finish with both feet, left foot, right foot. Son's got that in his locker. And you don't really lose that with age. That will just stay there as it is. I think now, change your game to become maybe a central striker. Stop playing on the wing. Because I'm seeing, man, like, the Bear and them, man are just dusting past.
To be fair, it's not his fault, though. If the man,
no, of course, of course.
Imagine he's going to Andrew, like, bro, let me just play centrally. Like, I'm calm in that pocket, and he's like, no. Do what you're good at.
Yes, yeah, but that's I can't keep doing what I'm good at. You know what I'm saying? Like,
he's scratching your head. You're scratching your head. That's it. You're scratching your head,
bro. That's like you telling me, gee, all right, cool. You know what? Obviously, I've got a game this Sunday. We need a player badly. Yeah, do you mind coming in? Yeah, no, don't worry, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? That whatever you need, I got that for you. Yeah, but I'm going to need you to play central midfield, box to box, if that's all right. And I'm going to need you to get up and down. I'm like, okay, you hear what I'm saying, though, Jerry? I feel like the best position for me right now, like as of today, would be I need to maybe sit a little bit deeper. Let me just get the ball.
Centre back.
No. Left back will still require me to go up and down. So let me do DM position now. And I can pop the ball about. Popping the ball around, keeping possession, I can be press resistant. That's not a problem. I got enough in me to be able to do all of that stuff. But ask me to go up and down, box to box, yeah, I'll be able to do it for half, if not less. So, do you know what I mean? Like, that's why I feel like Son is at this moment. Like, listen, I've still got the skills to do everything else, though. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Dallas Cowboys all on TV, but they're crap. Guys, I need to start. If anyone watches NFL or baseball, sorry, I know this is off topic, but yeah, if anybody watches those, let me know if it's actually good because I wanted to actually get into
NFL. I've understood it, and it's kind of decent. Okay. I wouldn't say regular season. Kind of game. I wouldn't say regular season, but if you like tactical things, you like the NFL. But it's one you just have to dive into it. Bare first take. When Shannon Sharp is waffling about it, but you just got to. Yeah, what does that mean? What the hell is that? Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Speaking of them, man, yeah, I was you see the beef, but not what.
Oh, LeBron, yeah, LeBron.
Yeah.
We chat about it.
Bit of funny. Big up honestly question: is there a top 6 in La Liga? Nope. Or any other league? Nope. La Liga don't have a top 6. They have a big 3, big 2. But you can throw Atletico and call it the big 3.
And again, and that's what it is. When you look at like the fan bases, they've got the biggest fan bases.
Yes, true.
Those 3. So it's like I get it. When you go and look at in
Germany,
France,
I don't even say there's really it's just a big team. I feel like because they are the team in Bayern Munich.
They are the main market. Like
that's the main market over there in Germany. I don't feel like
then I look at France. It's weird. PSG have become that, but they weren't always that. Before it was like fan base wise, it might be Lyon, Marseille, and
Lyon,
Marseille, and who else?
I would say Lyon, Marseille. Maybe you could throw Monaco in there. They're quite historic, slightly.
Yeah, maybe it's them for like PSG are like the city equivalent where they're not. If you go and speak to people in France, they don't talk of PSG being the biggest like name team. It's probably Marseille or Lyon. It's one of them. I think it's Marseille actually.
I feel like Marseille the more historic. Like, that's the club I kind of remember when I was growing. Like obviously, Abede Pele and all of that. Like, that's how I remembered Marseille. And for some reason, when I was younger, Marseille just seemed to be the dope team. Don't know if it's because they had 6 players or whatever. I couldn't really remember. Peaches, look at the overlap, etc. They spend an hour talking about 8 clubs with no mention of Fulham, Brighton, Palace, Bournemouth, Brentford. I keep saying, but maybe next, you know what, guys? Do you think next season for the channel, right, that I should spend a bit more time speaking about the entire league as opposed to, like, obviously you guys already know, right? I know this is slightly off topic, but this just brought up the point. Like, obviously, like we've got a lot of these YouTube shows, right? And they focus on like the big 6, which is fair, and I get it. Because those are like the big draws, like the Tottenhams, the Arsenal, Liverpool, City, United, Chelsea, etc. But do you think that maybe not necessarily solely focus on the rest of the league, but a bit more shows talking about the other teams in the league? So like I could call it? I don't even know, man. I don't know. I'll try and think of a name kind of for it. But you guys think I should focus a bit more? On that, where we take a look at the other teams from week to week and stuff like that, because I feel like they don't. I agree with you, Peaches. I don't feel like they get much love. Like, and the thing is, I don't even know why. Do you get what I'm saying? Because I'm like, bro, they're all here. They're all in the Premier League. Why not? Rap about this team and rap about that team. And do you get what I'm trying to say? Like, I feel like everyone has, and some of these teams you're talking about have massive fan bases. So it's not even like they got like small fan bases and stuff like that. But it is what it is. I tried NFL. It's 30 seconds of play and 3 minutes of adverts for several hours. I don't know. It will just be my patience. But to be fair, I watch NBA quite a lot. I mean, I was even watching it last night. So I feel like I could probably watch NFL and it wouldn't really bug me. I promise you, NBA will have a advert. Like their adverts pop up when man's taking a free throw. And free throw is literally like 2 seconds of you like walking up to take a penalty. My man's got an advert that pops up like, we're sponsored by Gatorade, and I'm just like, bruh, like, did this need to come up here at this point? Like, I don't even understand, man.
And the actual screen of the thing just goes,
bro, it just comes up at the time. There's been times when the advert will pop up, the brother's even taking the shot, like he's just about to shoot the free throw, and the advert will like stay there. I'm like, bro, I don't need to fucking see this. G playing box to box after 2 sprints. G will be like, run this. Let me be like Trent. Just pop. Yeah, bro. That's nowadays. Listen, I can't pass the ball like Trent. I will not lie to you. Like that's not my game. It's never been my game. I've never been someone who can ping a 60-yarder, kind of thing. That I just can't really.
Yeah, that's my bag.
Yeah, and the thing is, I can even tell that will be Jerry's kind of bag. Calm. You see me? Let me be Salah of today, which is he can ping it to me. I'll blatantly hold off whoever it is on that side, and then we'll just pop off and then. We'll make that run that we need to, or that dribble on the inside.
Them man are runners, isn't it? Them man are runners.
Yeah, I'm not.
We send them boys running. That's what it is.
Yeah, I'll be real. That's all I ever used to do, boy. It's just run for days. Spurs are more of an events and entertainment company than a football club, so they should not be counted. Yeah, they always do the. Didn't they have Beyonce over there? I'm sure they had Beyonce.
Yeah, they've had Beyonce. They've got Chris Brown there doing the Super Bowl.
Oh, is Chris Brown at Tottenham?
He's going to be going to Tottenham. Mad,
I thought it was at Wembley.
Selling out the whole thing.
Yeah. That's mad. I hear bare people trying. I see bare girls are here. Premise where the most money is, so that sort of explains it.
I did some songs to the playlist just in case.
The thing is, I don't listen to Chris Brown now, so I
know.
can't even.
I know that's what I'm saying. You're gonna add some. You're gonna add some play. Make sure you're in the right areas at the right time.
Listen. Hear what I'm saying, man. We'll get there when we get there, man. Leon in early 2000s. Yeah, I agree. I think that's what Jerry was saying. It's one of them.
Saint Etienne were big as well. So Saint Etienne. So historically, it's Marseille, Saint Etienne, Paris as well. Saint Germain. Recently, in it, they've won 12 of the last 11 or something like that, or 10 of the last 12 in 12 years.
That's mad. I wish more people would do it. The Brighton Brentford model. Are great. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna start doing that during the summer, especially. Come the end of the season, I'm gonna take a deeper look. I'm gonna look at every single Premier League team, and then we're gonna rap about every single Premier League team. We're gonna take a look, man. So from week to week, obviously there's 20 teams. So what's that? 20 weeks? Do you know what I mean? Which isn't actually a lot in football. We're just gonna focus on one sole team. So we'll start we'll go alphabetically. We'll just talk about every team every single week, and then we'll just keep flipping it back round. Literally keep flipping it back round, man. So you guys are giving me the idea. That's what I'm going to do from next season. Spurs ain't a big club though, G. Everton are bigger than them. Historically, yes, they are technically. They technically would be seen as a bigger club, man. But Jerry, man, look, 2024, so when Arne Slot came in, that whole took from August to December the 31st, yeah. He only lost one game. But since January, he's lost 5. What's changed, bro? I mean, 5 losses.
One's a final. One's a final, which you can kind of look at and you can win or lose those.
So let's say 4. We'll go with 4.
One of them is against the PSG side that popped us off the park. Probably the worst we played. One of them was against Plymouth, where we just rotated the team, and I think he sacked it off, really. Even though he expected to win, but we, sacked it off, considering how he's rotated the team. And what are the 2 other losses? We've
lost to Plymouth. PSV was in January. That was the last.
But PSV, again, dead rubber game. We kind of just X'd that off because we're already top in it.
PSV. So PSV, Newcastle, PSG, Plymouth. What was the other loss that we had then? When did we play Tottenham? Was that this year?
It was.
The loss, yeah.
It was. So it's the Spurs one as well. So it's like.
So basically, you're providing. I was about to say excuses, or
no, context. It's not an excuse. I want us to win all the games, but it's context.
No, of course.
When you look at it, the games we lost one game, which is against Nottingham Forest, which arguably for me, apart from the Newcastle game, was a more important game for us because we would have probably had a bigger gap at that particular time. Obviously, in hindsight, we could have lost that game and look at the gap that we're in, right? But yeah, the way I look at it is we lost those games, and arguably the PSG and Newcastle one were the most important of that. Yeah. So look, I think it'd have been difficult to only have one loss in 2025, bro.
No, of course, bro. Of course,
it's very difficult. So it just probably leveled itself out in it. A couple of the games we should have lost in 2024, they came to bite us in 2025, and I think that's the way it kind of works, isn't it?
No, 100%. That's what I was saying before. I was like, bro, that's why I said I have to big up Liverpool, because there are games I've watched this season, and I'm like, right, you came out with the draw in that game. What, Newcastle 3-3, where I thought, we was not good. And I thought we should have lost that game. We played games recently where I thought, bro, how have you come out with victory, in games like this, man? It's mad. So I was looking at this. I see this yesterday, man. Because I was looking at, obviously we big up the Brightons and we big up the Nottingham Forests and stuff like that, right? And I was looking at Nottingham, Brighton. This is Bournemouth's last, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 games. Bournemouth in the last 6 games haven't won any, apart from, I don't know if so they won on penalties against Wolves. Other than that, lost to City, Fez, lost to Brentford, lost to Ipswich, lost to Bournemouth, lost to Brighton, should I say, sorry, drew against Spurs. And I'm like, that's mad. That's so crazy. Obviously, the way that we've been picking up Bournemouth, and rightly so, kind of thing. And this is Nottingham Forest. Now, this isn't Nottingham Forest's last 6 games, but this is just this is from January. You can see January 25th for basically the month of Jan to February, and I was looking at it, and I was like, right, so I forgot Nottingham Forest when they lost 5-0 to Bournemouth, then slapped Brighton 7-0, won on penalties against Exeter, lost to Fulham, and lost to Newcastle. I'm like, right, that's kind of crazy. So obviously, in your eyes, Jerry, right, what do you deem to be the best league? Like I don't necessarily need you to even tell me which league you think is the best, but what would you call the best league? Like, what are the factors? What are the components to make the best league for you? Like,
I think it depends on how you want to look at it. I think it depends on what scope you decide to take. If you look at, football can be dissected into so many ways. You can look at the entertainment factor, right? That comes with, obviously, people entertained by loads of things, but when you break that down, for me, it's kind of 3 strands. You've got the tactical side of the game. You've got the competitiveness of the game. Actually, 4. You've got the tactical side of the game, the competitiveness of the league. So to tactical level of the league, the competitiveness of the league, the technical ability of the league, right? And then the physicality of the league.
Okay.
I do believe the Premier League is the best when it tries to encompass all 4 components. However, it's not the best at any of those.
Okay, I get you.
So
Jack of all trades.
The league is more technical, but it don't have the physicality of the Prem, and I don't think it's as competitive as the Prem in terms of even the lower teams. When you look at the players that the lower teams have, I think you go down somewhere in the league or in like 15th, 16th. You don't even know who. I don't know who's even there. I don't even know who plays for that team. You know what I mean? Like, that's the kind of thing, right? I think tactically, Italy is a joke tactically. But I think
sorry to think. It's mad. Yeah, I just looked at the table. Right, you know who's actually 15th in La Liga, which I didn't know.
Valencia.
Yes,
so, they've been listen. They fought off relegation last year. I just said it, and I was like, I guarantee it's Valencia. As I said it, I was like, I guarantee it's Valencia.
It's just funny, yeah, because you said, I was like, who's he's actually there? It's Valencia.
Last time I remember Valencia having players that had like Sofiane Feghouli and that.
Right.
That's ages ago. Man went to West Ham, went to Italy. I don't know where he is now, but. So, it just depends on how you're looking at the game, man. Just because when you look at the Premier League, it's had the best managers, pound for pound, in terms of like the names. So you had Pep Guardiola, Jurgen Klopp. At one point, you had Ancelotti in the league. Like, it's got the best managers, man for man, like pound for pound in the league. The best managers are then attract the best players. So even if of course, not every single best player. There's plenty of. Just to caveat it, and our people move. There are plenty of top players that play for Real Madrid and play for Barcelona and play for Bayern Munich and play for the top teams in those leagues. But it's only a 22, 25-man squad.
Yeah.
If you're not the 25 of that, then you need to go to other places, right? Now,
continue. Just give me literally 1 second to get a door.
Yeah, cool. But guys, we're seeing the likes of, 𝐒𝐁𝐒, that is regarded as one of the better players this season, playing for Wolves. He was at Atletico Madrid. We've seen, players like Kluivert that have played for Ajax. Kudus played for Ajax, one of the bigger teams, in the Champions League, bigger teams in Eredivisie. And what happens, guys? They end up at West Ham and Bournemouth, respectively. So these managers, these teams, with the money that they've got and the managers that they've got and the facilities, they are attracting the best of the rest. I think that's the best way to describe it, the best of the rest. So it does mean that the game, although it's not maybe as technical as La Liga, it's still very, very technical. It might not be as tactical as Italy, but it's still very, very tactical. And depending on how you go and look at football, I think is how you'll go and decide to go and judge what you prefer as better. I don't think there's one, correct answer. It's very subjective. If I lived in France and I supported PSG my whole life, I'd be watching, I'd be watching Ligue 1. And I'm watching it hard. If I was in Germany, I'd be watching the German league all the time and I'd be up to it. But I'm not in it. So you are kind of skewed by that. But I do think that the Premier League is a mixture of all because of the factor of the best managers. Well, it starts with money, But the best money attracts the best managers and the money attract the best players. And unless you're the best 25, or do you know what I mean, playing for the best teams in the other leagues, you'll be at an Atletico Madrid. Even I just said it to the chat, and you end up at Wolves. You end up at Wolves, like you end up at Wolves. You're going to City, and yes, you could go to City. I'm not debating that, but they're players, you know, Kulusevski, a top team in Juventus. You end up at Spurs. Like there's levels to, I mean, what teams can attract. So it's like the best of course, if you're the best of the best, you've got the pick of the bunch. But the best of the rest, like the good players, all want to go to the Premier League, all talk about going to the Premier League. And yeah, it's for the money, it's also the managers, facilities, and it's the most watched league. So in terms of entertainment value, it's the one that's pushed out and marketed by most. Like, you could watch Real Madrid versus Barcelona basketball. I think it's on tonight, bro. I know you're not tuning in though.
Hey, you know what? Now you said it, maybe I might tune in.
But do you know what I mean? Doncic from that league, no one knew who Doncic was. He goes to the NBA, all of a sudden, wow, you're this player. Unless you're really, really into football,
like locked in, of course.
Locked in and watching all the leagues, you can make a better, again, a more honest kind of discussion of what it is and stuff. I'm only talking about Italy and La Liga because I used to watch them hard. I don't even watch them anymore, bruv. So I couldn't tell you anything about those leagues, innit? I just know, historically, La Liga is technical, and historically, Inter Milan has always been tactical. And then I look at what I see in the Champions League and stuff, and how the best teams operate and how they move, and what players talk about as well.
Yeah, fair. Nah, I hear it, man. Big up, Ends, man. Good morning.
Big up, bro. Good morning to you guys, man.
How are you, man? You good?
Good, yeah, bro. Spent the morning trying to get stuff sorted, man. But you know, when you just the recording stuff, man, it's long, bro. You have to.
I told you, bro. Sometimes you be doing recording all day, editing for like 10 hours.
You saw how long it took me to do that edit for that one video, bro. It was long.
Yeah, bro. We was on that thing for time. Like how long? Like a couple hours.
What you man need to start doing? You man need to start subletting and letting other men do it, bro. Because it gets,
bro. You know, slightly. I thought about that,
like, honestly, guys, if you guys are doing it like that and you guys are serious about it, bruv, Indian meth, man. Indian meth. Get someone else to do that, bruv. Get someone else to do it. You check in with it, pay him a little change, more time to do everything else. Whilst that's going on, you're doing your coaching ends, you know, like that. You're getting your sessions in with whoever.
Do you know what? I've got a great balance at the moment, or else I would have, bro. I would have just given the role to someone else. Hey, you might as well run this, bro, because it's long. But I've got a good balance, so it's fine. But I was just looking at it going, bro, it takes ages, especially like long form. Short ones, light work, but yeah, it's just long.
So you need the man to just keep quiet and keep everything nice and short, innit? Like, you know what I'm saying? When we're on streams and that, we gotta just keep it nice and tidy, under an hour. You know what I'm saying?
Look at the timer and just be like, cool, I've got 30 seconds to speak from.
Bro, look at it, I'm like 49 minutes. I'm like, okay, cool. All right, so we got 11 minutes. Obviously, you know why we're here. Obviously, we spoke about this, BU Savage, like yesterday. Yeah, and we were talking obviously about how people are obviously viewing Liverpool this season, right?
Okay.
Whether or not it's more obviously rival fans just being rivals, Liverpool fans, and like I've said 100 times, so that people don't think I'm trying to outsource this. Yes, I did not think Liverpool were going to win the league. Yes, I also do not rate the team in that way, shape, or form. I just rate what they're doing, but I don't rate the team in that kind of way, right? So I myself, I'm actually very astonished at what I'm seeing this season, that Liverpool like been able to remain this consistent for this amount of time and be 12 points clear. And I don't even think we're 12 points good, 12 points better. I just think it's just one of them ones, innit? Like you just get lucky in that kind of way. But how are you kind of seeing it? Do you feel like Liverpool deserve more respect? Do you think it's the league? This is why I've shown. So obviously this is just like I was just showing Jerry, like this is Bournemouth's like results over the last like few weeks, and this is obviously a team that we bigged up. Like they've not won a game in this period of time. Lost to Brentford, lost to Brighton. You know what I'm saying? And then this is Nottingham Forest a few weeks back, losing to Newcastle, losing to Fulham, losing to Bournemouth. How you lose 5-0, win 7-0 the following week? Like, how does that even make sense for a Premier League? Like, to me, that doesn't make no sense. And then obviously we looked at I'll just show you this now. We looked at the league table. So obviously this is this season. We're 12 points clear. Everything's cushy. This was the same point last season. So we've seen, obviously, there's no Man United, there's no Tottenham, there's no West Ham in that kind of thing. Obviously, Man City are way off what they were. What is it then? Are we just not giving them enough respect, Liverpool? Is the quality not really like how are you seeing it, bro?
No, I think Liverpool are getting the respect what they deserve. I think it's more from the our own fans more than anything else. I don't think it's from rivals. I don't think it's from other pundits or whatever. I think it's our own fans that's not giving us the credit. Because, you know, looking at the last season table and you're going, well, we're only 2 points above, obviously, City and Arsenal at the time. But you knew you draw a game at any moment, bro. You knew that Arsenal and Man City weren't going to drop no more points. That's the way they were playing. But you look at that and you go, right, no, we was consistent last season. Like, we were doing bits. We only lost 2 games up to that point and we was playing well. But then after the Palace game, we lost 1-0. I didn't really rate the rest of this. Like, I didn't really look at the rest of those results, the West Ham one, the Aston Villa one, and go, yeah, the boys already knew. I think once they lost that Palace one, they just knew it's out of our hands now. It's down to City and Arsenal. So I think they kind of just tuned out, switched off. But then you fast forward it, you're going, right, they probably looking at, let's not do what we did last season. We're in the same position now. We've given ourselves a bigger cushion instead of 2 points. Let's really push on now and let's not make the same mistakes. And I think the boys are locked in. But yeah, I think in terms of the credit conversation, bro, I think that other teams has given us credit. You know, I listen to other fans, the way that they speak about Liverpool, they're like always bigging up Mo, bigging up Verge, but for us, for our fan base, for some reason, not only do we don't like our team in that way, and obviously you're open and honest about it in terms of obviously your expectation in terms of the players and stuff and how we play football. But a lot of them said we wouldn't win the title. A lot of them said we will rebuild. A lot of them said we'll just accept maybe a little Carabao Cup on the way and then fingers crossed we can then build and go, which is fair, I think. But for me personally, I looked at exactly what you're showing now on screen. I looked at last season and gone, right, we were top at this point and we were playing all right. And then we had loads of injuries. I remember Salah out, Sobo out. You know, like the guys were just dropping like flies. And I was just like, okay, we had to bring in the youth. And then they were chipping in and helping out the team and getting results and getting us across the line. So in my mind, I'm like, if we can put ourselves in the same position, but somehow keep the players fit, and that's a bit of luck in there as well. But also you can see the medical team being able to see when players are close to the red zone, as people like to say, if we can try and keep these guys in a good condition. If we get to the same position again next season and everyone fit, we can go and win the league. And that was my thought process from last season. I didn't see why we couldn't go and do this again. Did I expect Man City to drop off? No. Did I expect Arsenal to not really push on? No. But I thought we could still be on a similar points tally. Yeah. I still thought we could have been. And how good Arsenal was and how good Man City was last season. Look at their points at this start. Look at the points that what they had. So it's not like even if they improve slightly, what is improving slightly? Maybe on the same points as us, maybe an extra 3 points more than us, but we would have still been in the contention. Do you know what I mean? Around this point. Like, what would have been that difference? Like, does that mean like Arsenal would have lost and City wouldn't have lost? No, they were going to lose games because obviously we're in the league and other teams are in the league as well. But yeah, for me, bro, I just think it comes from our fan base, not from anyone else. I think it's just our fan base that don't give the team credit. They don't rate the team as highly as probably I do. They probably don't have the same expectations, but then we moan when we don't do stuff. So we lower the expectation, but then we moan when we don't win stuff, which is crazy to me. I don't understand. If your expectation is low, then the results and whatever should matter, right? That's the way, logically, that's how my brain works. But for me, I'm like, nah, these boys can go on and win stuff. These boys can go on and do stuff. In my mind, I thought we would have added as well. Like, do you know what I mean? I thought we'd have tweaked and added, but obviously the man then said, nah, Chiesa is the only one and we don't even play him. So it's pretty much the same team we're running again. But listen, the boys have been consistent. Has the football been great? No. Has there been moments in the season where I thought we were cold? Yes. Can we even perform better? Of course. Some of our players are underperforming at the moment. It happens. But yeah, man, I'm cool with the team, bro. I'm cool. But I want us to improve it. And next season probably is going to be the rebuild season. But yeah. It's more from our fans, bro, more than anything else.
Hens is saying that you man are snakes. I hear it. So obviously, you see when we
so everything I said, you got that. Fair enough.
That's the thing. No, I'm joking. Nah, the thing is, that's what I said to you.
ENDZ's book.
Yes, I said snakes.
Man's like Rumpelstiltskin, you know, like that. Silk making it into flipping yarn and that.
Listen, the thing is, what I do agree with, I agree with most of what you said, but one of the points that you made there is it is from my own fans, because I too don't really feel like it's a rival thing. I feel like they kind of rate what we're doing, but it's also what Virgil said. I think you showed it on the stream yesterday. It's a bit like what Virgil said about, you know, people want to be in our position. So when you're first, of course, everyone wants to be first. You know what I'm saying? Bro, you don't want to be second or third. Like, I'm trying to be first all the time, no matter how dead. And that's why I say, this is why I say I rate Liverpool in that sense, because I'm like, whatever I think about the league, someone still needs to win it though. It still has to be played. Like, there still needs to be a conclusion to this. As long as it's you, it doesn't matter. Even if this is the shit team, like, even if I think the league is absolutely pants, like, or if I think the squad is pants, like Jerry showed us we just looked at I've got it here, the 2012-13 Man United team, man, like Nani, you got like a Carrick who's on his way out, Fletcher. I saw a pivot of Fletcher and fucking Carrick. That's crazy. That is crazy. Now, I'm not saying we have that level, but
Fletcher, Carrick with Cleverly just in behind, when Rooney was out.
Side to side, man.
You had RVP or Welbeck playing up front. On the wings, you had Antonio and flipping Ashley Young. Before that, they had flipping, you know what I mean? You can go Cristiano Ronaldo and this man and that man, and it weren't that level. Do you know what I mean? But they were still good players. They were still good players. But you had a 39-year-old Scholes, a 39-year-old Giggs, a 34-year-old or 35-year-old Rio, a 32-year-old Vidic. Do you know what I mean? So it wasn't.
But you know what's crazy? I looked at the Premier League table for that season, I'll show you guys in a sec. But when I looked at the table, I was like,
3 points or something like that.
Yeah, that was actually a question I wanted to, because it was something that popped up yesterday, actually, what you just said there about the points thing. But yeah, when I looked at the table anyway, and just in terms of just position, you had Man City obviously finished second that year, Chelsea third, Arsenal fourth, Tottenham 1 point behind Arsenal in fifth, Everton. Right, where did Liverpool? Oh, seventh, say swear.
Don't you remember when Everton and Martinez and I'll pop him?
Is that the same season they got into the Champions League and we?
No, that was like 05. That would have been for the 04-05 season.
I was joking.
When we won
there
the
and they got knocked out in the qualifiers, bro. That was jokes, bro.
It was against
They had
Villarreal.
to play that. Yeah, they had to play them double. You know that 2 game, you win, you're in it. But I was like, raw, all that hard work, bro, just to lose.
Yeah, just to lose, like, and it was a big thing for Everton, obviously, at that time. So I put up this comment here because I wanted to touch on this. It's something I wanted to speak on. These men think all the previous Prem winners were playing champagne football, game in, game out. Obviously, I can't speak for Jerry. I cannot speak for ENDZ. I'll let them answer that themselves. I don't think ENDZ mentioned that, though, to be fair. But what I will say on that is this. No, I don't. I actually don't. I've watched the Premier League properly, I would say, since 97, 98. So I can't count for the years before that, but from that season onwards, basically, whenever Arsene Wenger came in, that's from that season onwards, I started watching the Premier League, right? So every Premier League win I've seen, and to be honest, it's only been about 4 teams, well, 5 if you count Leicester City as well, right? So Man United, Chelsea, Arsenal have won it twice, I think, in that time. And obviously Manchester City have just been walking it the last few years. All of those teams, bar Arsenal, because Arsenal weren't really consistent with winning the Premier League, all of them had seasons like I feel that Liverpool are having right now. You know, the difference is that they were winning so much that gets put into, you don't even rate that season. I.e., no, Jerry just said it, you didn't rate the 2012-13 season with fucking Cleverly and them, man. Why? Because I watched the 99 treble. Yeah, I'm trying to say, I watched Ronaldo, Tevez, and Rooney rip it up. I've seen them have way better seasons in amongst having this 2012-2013 season. Remember, Liverpool don't win the league consistently. So we have to look at this, unfortunately, in isolation. I don't have another like 6 Premier Leagues to fall back on and be like, yeah, you know what, actually, we've won it like playing champagne football. We've won it, you know, playing resolute. We've won it, you know, getting 100 points. We haven't done that. I only have 1 Premier League title to fall back on. And guess what? It's in the same context as this season because it was in another season where everyone else was shit. Man City fell off a cliff and we ended up winning the league by like...
To be fair, though, the only season we won it is when Liverpool were outstanding, though. You know, that they won every single game.
Yeah. Fair.
Which goes to your point, which is we've only seen Liverpool win the league like that. We've never
in
seen
one way, exactly
like this, where it's just professional.
Do you know the other thing as well? If I can answer that question quickly. But you look back at it, you'd say Man City did that every time they won the league, bro. So you're talking about how many times they won it, and then we stopped it. They got 7, right? They had 3, then they had 4, and we had the little one in between that. So they had 7, we had 8. So in the last 8 seasons, right, we've watched teams win the title by playing exactly what that comment said. In the last 8 seasons, Man City blitzed everyone, but great football, tiki-taka, goals left, right, centre, everywhere. When we did it, we blitzed the league, won it. And even if you take it back past that, even when was it Conte the last one that won it? Before
that was good, man. It was good.
Yeah, and they were really good as well when they went to the back 5, and then they were just cooking teams, bro. Like the way that they were playing. So, like, yeah, even if you just take it back, let's just say 10 years for the last 10 years, you'd say the champions that's won the league, they played great football. So the expectation is, and that's why I said, like, maybe across the whole time the Premier League exists, maybe there's teams that's won it without doing that. But I remember times when Man United won it, they were cooking everyone. Like the way that they were playing. Arsenal, when the invincible, like the way they moved the teams that season, cold. So I'd say more than often we've seen teams that's won the league has really played well throughout the whole season. There's going to be odd games, but obviously we're not talking about the odd games. We're talking about the majority of games that they play. So yeah. For me, I think 100%, bro. Teams have won it in the last 10 years have definitely played well, and I think it's just your own expectations, right? Is it what type of football you'd like to see? It doesn't mean you're not going to love celebrating the title, but you're gonna want to see some cold football sometimes as well, man.
Yeah, bro. Want to tiki-taka and that? Like, yeah, what? I can't ask. Yeah, I'm not allowed to ask now. Like, I have to be so resolute.
The expectation levels are low, bro. This is what I said to you, bro. Just
fucking no. Big up, honestly. Saying, question: why is it the narrative with LFC winning the Prem is like, yeah, but LFC are lucky with injuries, which is a stupid narrative. We were top even when Arsenal had everyone fit. I don't know if you guys want to answer that yourself.
It's like yesterday listening to the conversation with Jamie and the Coppish lads. Big up to them. But yeah, I from last night I realized, man, we played the victim too much, bro. It's like I get they said that it's cool. Like, so what if they say, bro, everyone needs a bit of luck now and then, innit? Of course, you need your top players fit to win games of football. But we found a way last season, and without these man, you know what I mean, unfit, like we found a way to win games regardless. But we just couldn't get across the line because we were still missing some key figures. But yeah, bro, like honestly, man, we just played like, who cares? Who cares, bro? Like Arsenal had their injuries. Last season they had their injuries. Were they saying, no, unlucky Liverpool? Yeah, no, they didn't care. They was just like, let's get on with our job. So don't worry about them, man. We just played the victim too much, man. Let's just go and win this title, bro, and celebrate it, man. Who cares? Like, let their medical teams handle all of that stuff, man. Let their managers deal with all. They get paid enough money to do all of that stuff, man. Let us just relish in this, bro. Another title, bro. How long we had to wait for the first one? Now we might quit, bro. I don't have time for that.
Listen, this is what I said. I said at this point you don't. That's why when we're speaking about like the Everton game, I was like, bro, at this point, like it doesn't really matter. I don't even want to analyze Liverpool the rest of the season because I'm like, I don't actually care. Just win the title so that we can just have that, so we can at least say, bro, man, seen 2 titles in my life. Finally, like I can finally like have a bit more of like oomph and respect about my club. Like I'm not.
You're so funny about listening to you both. Yeah, his end is talking about like just win the league so we can celebrate. Geez, like F the celebration, bro. I just need to have that in my pocket, like bro. Gone. There's the wow factor of winning the league is gone. It's
gone, bro. It's gone. It's like as in I told you, like you got to realize, bro. I'm 33 years of age, so the reality is.
Yeah, you needed to win a league when you were 10, bro. Now,
exactly. You see all the young G's right now. You man are calm. Like you man, or anybody who's under, I would say, under the age of 25 right now, bro. You are so calm because the way you looked at it is, 25 years of your life, but I've seen 2 titles, and really and truly, let's say it's only really been the last 10 years that you would probably count in terms of you watching football kind of religiously. Bro, last 10 years of your life, you've seen every fucking trophy. These times I've been sitting there watching, I said it yesterday, Vegard Hegem and them, man. Like Steve Finnan and who playing right back.
In the summer, you were watching Wigan and that in final.
Oh,
Liverpool in the final, you're watching. How's Wigan got here? Why
bro, like I'm seeing, and I don't watch it by the way, but it's I see it pop up anytime I see LFC TV, right? My man, Neil Mellor. I'm like, Neil Mellor is like, this is your ambassador to do the thing. Donny, who scored that one goal against Arsenal that I put, and the thing is, because it was that one goal,
one of my greatest days of my life. I sat in a room with Arsenal fans, and when he scored it, do you know, because we're not used to winning, like we weren't used to like Arsenal just move to us every time, right?
Wow,
and then when he scored us, and it was against Vieira, I turned around, jumped up, celebrated, and for 24 hours I was on top of the world. That was it. After that, I realized, yeah, we're not even like.
Mr. Tiny Lois.
Nah, it's not. But bro, honestly, like, you got to realize you man are so lucky. So you see me right now. Listen, of course, obviously celebration, of course, and I hear it. And listen, I do think the fan base deserve it, because the reality is we didn't get one in the 1920 because of COVID. So it would be just nice to at least just be able to celebrate one title, like. Even if it's the only time man's going to win for a minute, just let that be that one thing. But guess what? You see all of that? For me, I'm like, I actually don't care. I just need the title, because it's no real significance after a while, because then you start to become like, then you get looked at like a Newcastle. Oh, you man ain't won for time, so you're going to celebrate this League Cup. Now, no disrespect, by the way, to Newcastle fans, but they're going to do that anyway. Like,
I feel like, yeah. When we wait that Champions League, when Chamberlain was scoring screamers and all of that, yeah. I was 20. When was that?
17, 18?
17, 18, yes. I was at 21 in it. I was at 21, 22, yeah.
21, okay, cool.
I was at 21, 22. That for me, right, was probably the peak where I was like, oh my God. And I was like infatuated, and I was like, yeah, bruv, I'm playing football, and rah. Bruv, it's gone, man. Like, I look back on it, it's even like how I'm feeling right now. I look back at like when I was younger and the feeling I had when we like signed Carroll and flipping 𝐵𝐁𝐃, bro. I was gassed. You know, I was making stuff up as a child. You're like, yeah, this is going to be great. It's like I know too much now. I know about FSG. Why do I know Michael Edwards' name? When I was younger, I didn't know who 𝐒𝐔𝐁𝐄 and 𝐒𝐔𝐁𝐄 were. You know, it's the
true.
I used to think it was a shaver thing. Anytime I saw it on TV as a kid.
You know what? That's actually true. Yeah, that's actually true.
Jerry, can I even add to what you're saying? Do you guys realize? I don't know if it was the same for you, but when we sold players, I didn't know. Like, there was man them that left Liverpool Football Club, and I'm like,
we're just like, where is that player?
Yeah,
you only hear it on Sky Sports. They'll be like, yeah, and the replacement for this has come in, and then, do you know what I mean? It was only the signing I remember like us selling, and I was like, raw, it's mad. Like, I remember. It's gonna sound mad. Was Torres, you know, the one when I'm like, oh my God, he's actually gone. The other ones, it's like a blur. Like, I don't remember when Arbeloa left. Who can tell me when Arbeloa left?
Yeah, I just remember him having the Real Madrid top.
Exactly. I just saw him in a Mildred top, and I was like, oh, like Mascherano. Oh, like even Jabi Alonso, there weren't no like hoo-ha about it.
Yeah, they just left, didn't it? They just signed for clubs.
But they just left like a non-league thing. You know, a man are just chopping change in the season. You just see it on the socials. Oh yeah, man. All right, cool. Yeah, he's playing for these men.
These guys that I know played for us, and I don't know when they signed or like got released or retired.
When did Barble leave Liverpool? Like, do you even remember? I don't remember. I don't even know who he went to. Bro, it's like he just stopped existing.
When did you know the other one? When did 𝐷𝐿 leave? Because I can't remember who he went to.
The 𝐷𝐿 one is scary, you know. It's like he just,
because we should remember that one. That should be like locked in the memory.
Hoffenheim after the thing. That's crazy.
You went where?
Barber went to Hoffenheim afterwards. I didn't even know that. 2011. That's crazy.
Did he? Last time I remember he played for Besiktas or something like that. Bro,
that was 2007. Bro, I'm looking at the list. Bro, this brother played for bare clubs. Man, from Liverpool onwards, yeah, he still played for another 12 years. Hoffenheim, Ajax. So he went back to Ajax for a season. Kasimpasa, I don't know who that. Al Ain, Deportivo La Coruña, Besiktas, Fulham, Galatasaray. Went back to Ajax in 2020.
That's what I'm saying.
Fulham, I remember because he had
Fulham. I remember, but that's what I'm saying. I remember the last time I remember seeing him. I'm like, oh, he's at Besiktas. That was it. I don't remember. When did 𝐷𝐿 leave?
Trudon said 2012.
Where did he go? Did he just retire? No, he didn't retire, because I would have remembered him retiring.
Hold on, so 𝐷𝐿, what? My man got rid of him, Kenny Dalglish.
Oh, okay, no, you're right. He went to Fenerbahce. I do slyly remember him going to Fenerbahce. Slyly. He scored quite a lot of goals there, to be fair. Fucking hell.
Yeah, this is mad, you know. This is mad. Yeah,
Then he went back finally.
Yeah, Fulham. That's what I'm saying. It's mad. It's like there's too much information.
Yeah, that's the picture that came up with the big yeah.
It's like there's too much information. It's like before it was just, bruv, it was just about the football, wasn't it? It was just about the football. You signed someone, you got excited, you made up these narratives like, oh, we got Ricky Lambert. Yeah. The free kicks he's been scoring, yeah, this is quality, you know. He's gonna link up. Like, that's what it was. Whereas now I'm judging these men before they've even come to the club because I already know about them. Liverpool, remember, Liverpool never signed the guys, innit? Ever. Liverpool never signed, like, we never signed Ozil when he was Ozil. We signed Samed Yezel. And I got gassed about that. And I thought, yeah.
Yezel. Are you? That's a quiz.
How many? Now, tell me how many appearances did man make?
He didn't make any.
I don't know.
Bruv, Asaidi. Oh my God. I went on YouTube and saw the clips. I was like, we've got Neymar. This is our
Neymar. We got Messi. We've got.
I was doing all this.
Jinky Majinky.
Yeah, bruv, man came. Yeah, he played one Europa League game. We never saw him again.
When did he even leave? Like, this is what I'm saying, bro. Like, when did these men leave?
But you know, yeah, Markovic was the one. I don't even know why I was gassed on Markovic, but maybe it was just the hype around him.
He was hyped, and we slapped 35 million on him, bro.
Yeah, maybe that was good. I thought, Markovic. Like, I thought he would have been what Salah is in terms of when Salah first came to the league, rapid, like just stupidly rapid. I thought, Markovic is gonna. Yeah, this brother got.
You know the one I was gassed about, Aquilani, bro. I was so gassed.
You know what you were gassed about Aquilani? Because we didn't even watch Aquilani play, but we were just gassed because it was like Italian central midfielder. Okay, this means we're gonna get a baller.
You went off what they told you on Sky Sports.
Yeah,
he's a Javi Alonso type midfielder. He's got an eye for a pass, and that's all you hear. No, there's no way. Listen, I disagree. There's no way there was bare man just watching that Italian league, knowing who these men are. Now it's easy. Of course. Michael wouldn't exist. You see, Michael Talks in the chat. He wouldn't have existed back then, you know.
No, you wouldn't have been able.
Michael Talks wouldn't exist. Michael would be doing something else. Michael Talks basketball or something. He didn't even like the Prem, but it'll be Michael Talks Prem because he won't know anything else.
Can you go back to that comment about the Bruno thing, bro? Did he win Player of the Month for real?
Who? I'll check. I was literally as I saw it pop out. Let me check. Player.
To be fair, he's been good though. He's been good.
Yeah, I hear that.
United have been crap, and he's been good. Like clutch, free kicks, last minute goals. He's been good. He's been good.
What month are we now? So that'll be for March.
Yeah, honestly, facts. Charlie Adam, I thought, oh my God.
I was kind of slightly guessed about Charlie Adam. I won't lie.
I was as well because after he cooked us up, I was like, yeah.
Baller now. We've got a baller in there.
Yeah, techie left foot. Because you know those moments you looked at the left footers, you're like, yo, these men are cold, you know.
Yep.
It's not coming up on the Premier League website.
Charlie Adams, bro. I hear it, bro.
When everything started to go left is when I started to see my favorite players at that time start to leave. So I'm like, Torres, you're gone. All right. Mireles, you're going as well.
I remember,
I
remember when we signed him as well because I was on holiday in Jamaica. Yeah, when we signed Torres, I missed the first 2 games, so I didn't get to watch the Chelsea one. So his first game was against Chelsea, and all I heard, from my Man United brethren, Arsenal brethren, bruv, nah, Torres is doing what you said he would do. I said, bruv, what did he do? He said, bro, the way he was cooking them, man.
Torres or Mireles? Which one?
Torres, bro. Torres. Yeah, and then he was like, bro, the way that he cooked up the man, then, bro, and the way, like, you can see he's a problem. And I said, oh, yeah, can't wait to come back and watch, bro. But yeah,
No, so when Mireles is leaving, and then it's like cool, and then we're in the mud for a bit, but then you're signing like Sturridge and Coutinho, and even these man, you're like, there's not even a lot of clips of Coutinho. I'm just seeing him as like a 14-year-old, and I'm judging him based on. I kid you not, I'm seeing him, in a baggy Brazil top, under 14s, doing the madness, and I'm like, cool. All I saw is that one clip from, like, a couple clips from him at Inter because he didn't even play, and I was like, what? I'm basing what I think of him based on that. Cool. I used to be like, I was just hopeful. I was just like, yeah, whatever. Just give us what you can. Work hard for the badge. Them buzzwords.
Yeah, work hard for the badge.
Yeah. Sturridge, I remember I saw him live in the FA Cup semi-final, Stoke versus Bolton. He tore it up for Bolton. And I was like, all right. Yeah,
I,
man. Cool.
I can't lie. Like the Sturridge and Coutinho one never gassed me at all. Like as in Sturridge, I was like, you know, like with Sturridge, it's a tricky one because to me he was just a reject that got rejected at like Chelsea. Couldn't really. No, but he
I don't think that's what. I don't think that happened, but I hear it.
No. It didn't really happen because obviously he's a young player. He wanted to get game time. So obviously now being older, I understand why he made the moves that he did, of course. But back then, I promise you, I was like, Sturridge, like really, like I'm not buying that. Why would you buy this guy? Like he's like we're getting him off of a rival who are super happy with letting him go. And I'm like, I don't want that. Man. Like,
how old were you when that happened, though?
What year was that? Well, let me tell you now. What year?
That'll be 2010.
So what are we now? So we're doing 15 years ago. So I was about 18.
No. Actually, no. It would have been 2010. It would have been 2012.
It's about 20.
20.
Yeah,
see,
about 20.
See, you were 20.
I was in
Italy. So you were already it's like your third eye was opening. You were starting to realize, bruv, why are we signing these players? Bruv, I was 16, bro. Bruv, what? I was like, Coutinho, a Brazilian in the team. Oh my god, I was just gassed.
Oh, Coutinho was even worse. And then I was like, who the fuck is that? He looked like he looked like a girl slightly when I first like, bro, he looked kind of like girlish, like the way he looked, bro. But obviously, it's because of the curly hair. He just looked like one of them. You know what it is? He just looked like a. You know, it doesn't even matter. Let's just say
from Elephant.
You know what I used to rate the players off of? Yeah, when you used to play pro, bro. When that's where I used to look. You know, when you come across these players on Pro Evo.
Yeah,
before we signed him, that was like the first way of like, oh, nah, this is cold. And that's when I knew Coutinho would cook for us, bro. Because when you used him on Pro, it was mad. Yeah, Pezzi was crazy, bro. Put him in the cam, cookage.
But that's what I'm saying. I was just gassed at the prospect of hope, bro. You know, just hope. It was just hope that anyone we signed, that thought, oh yeah, he'd be all right.
Thank you, Sam. Anyone. This is what I wanted to say, but not out loud.
That's like a Shoreditch lesbian in a leopard print jacket. Oh,
that's what he just looked like some chick. That's what I just used to think.
Wow.
Obviously, remember, I'm thinking he's not going to be
like a black bomber jacket and like leopard print pants with some crazy joints on, like as crepes, some crazy red joints.
My boots, bro, my black boots.
Yeah, the Dr. Martens and like the red ones. Like what?
Like, why are you wearing? Like, you came at your house and you thought this was cool to wear. Like, okay, fair. Like, I'm not here to judge.
Not here to judge.
But yeah, look. I say we said all of this to say, like, this is why I say, like, now it doesn't really matter to most people, to all of us. We don't care, man. Just want the title, boy. Like, I just want a title. I don't really care how that title comes about, and etc. So, yeah, man. That's why you're not gonna moan it in. And I get why people are like, they get a bit testy when they, when someone, mentions all about, are Liverpool that good this season and tear. But it's like me and Jerry said, bro, like I said earlier on with Jerry, which is, look at this forward line right here. Look at the midfield. I'm more than sure if everybody had their way, we would sell about at least a minimum, and I'll be kind, a minimum, take away the 3 guys out of contract, we'd sell at least 6 players. Minimum. More. Some people obviously got more, but I'll try to keep it at a minimum. On average, probably everyone would sell about 6 players. To me, and by the way, the 6 players I'm talking about, there's probably only one of those players who we'd consider to be old in Robertson. For people who want to sell Robertson, the rest of them, they're all kind of youngish, like they're not old players, like they're not. You know what I'm saying? Like
on that point, obviously, I don't know what the chat think. Let us know. Do we think, right? This is the way I look at it. There are 5 players in world football better than Diaz, or better than Jota, or better than Gakpo, or better than any of the midfielders. The starting ones, anyway. Do you think there's 5 players? Their position,
like any players, like any.
Is that obtainable players, or you just?
No. Of course, it could be any player, but then you got to look at it. Can you attain them as well? So obviously, if you say Mbappe,
you can't say Vinicius.
Yeah, man, that's mad.
I'm talking about the ones that are there. That level, you think there might be that level, but that are better. Because I personally, even though I don't rate some of these men, I look at it and I'm like, I don't think this man's better than him.
I hear it.
I would agree.
I thought Enzo was about to say Semenyo like so quick. I don't know why.
I look at Szoboszlai, right? I look at Szoboszlai even, right? And I know man don't rate him and they think that I'm cool. I kind of hear it as well. I don't look at bare other midfielders that do what he does in terms of what he does in the team and look at and think, yeah, that man's better than him at that. Or 5 men that are better than him at that. Man are going to start chucking Morgan Rogers to me, Angelo Stiller, these random names. I don't want to hear that. I really don't want to hear that, bro. I really don't want to hear that.
You don't rate Morgan Rogers?
No. I think
you actually like him as a player.
I like him. That's what I'm saying. I like him. I think he's good. But do I think there's 5 other? Do I think he's better than Szoboszlai? No.
Oh, no.
5 men, and is there 5 men that are better than him in terms of what he does? No. If you're talking about you want a different type of player in there, like what ENNY likes to say and stuff, it's a different conversation, isn't it? It's like if I told you, yeah, bruv, I want a 6'7" striker that's just going to stay in the box for Liverpool, then obviously I'm not going to compare Jota to that. But when I look at what Jota is when he's playing, is there 5 other men in the world that are better than him? I don't think so.
No. I was gonna say for me, bro. Like, if you're right, I agree with what you said, bro. I don't know if there's 5 guys out there. I think everyone has their own preference. I think from a forward though, I think we could definitely get like an Isak. I think even though, maybe some people like maybe he's not obtainable, but I think if you look right, should we pay that money to improve on that position? 100%. But you're right on that left hand side. I love Semenyo, bro. I get it. I understand like what Diaz does, and it's crazy because every time I watch him play, and Jerry always like tries to educate people on it, and you're like, bro, what he does, not many people can do this. But what happens is because we want to see these GA and we want to see, you don't understand what he actually brings to the other side of for the team. Salah is going to be hard to replace, but I always go to the notion: do you need someone in your team that scores that many goals and assists, bar the striker? Not really. You can win a game without someone finishing on 20-odd goals, 30-odd goals. You can still win a league. You can still win a game of football. And
to that point, like I know Peach is saying Jota with 6 goals. I'm not saying you. First of all, I'm not saying you can't. Right. Second thing is, I'm not saying that Jota has been good this season. I'm saying when Jota is at his best. Remember, a manager is looking at his players not based on just recent. That you can't, because you can't just base it on that. He's looking at it over a period of time. What can you achieve and what level do we think we can get you to? If you're signing a player for your team ends in your under 12s, you're not looking at him to be the finished product, but you might look at him and be like, you know what? He might not be the best passer, but defensively, he's so good. If we can work on that passing, he's going to be a really good defender. You know what I mean? That's the way you look at it. So when I look at Jota, if he was fit, and this is the first season we're talking about him in his finishing and not scoring goals, we would be talking about. We were saying he's the best finisher at the club last season. What he's a better finisher than the man on the right hand side that's got 30 goals. And you think there's other? And if Salah's the best in the world, that's some man that to say, Jota's the better finisher then. So you can't name me 5. You're going to struggle to name me 5 better finishers then. That's the way I look at it. You go and look at left-hand side. Yes, there's players that will do better. I'm saying, look, if the team think get rid of Gakpo, get rid of Diaz, get rid of this man because you think this, even a Semenyo or whatever will come in and they think you can do better, cool. But I just don't, as things stand right now, I don't look at this team and think there's 5, 6 men that are just like miles better than them. Like, yeah, it's not even a discussion.
No, I don't think he's either.
Okay. We got Mike, man. Obviously, I told you to name 5 players that he feels is better than Jota. Mike, big up to your damn self, by the way. Hope you're blessed. Hope you're doing well.
I'm good, bro. It's Friday, man.
Big up, Mike. By the way, the caveat is as well. In the moment.
Here we go. Caveat. Oh, we're going to add caveat to it. Okay.
No, the reason I said it.
No, Jerry. You said there is 5 players that are not better than Jota.
Yeah, but I said, what did I say? I don't know if you heard. I said,
if they're attainable.
No, yeah. And if I said 6'7", I want a 6'9" striker that just stands there, that's a different type of player to what Jota is. Of course. I'm saying stylistically in terms of what we've got, because again, Szoboszlai, I would prefer to see a different type of attacking mid in there.
Yeah, of course.
In terms of what Szoboszlai provides. That's all.
Okay. Do you think Osimhen is better than Jota?
I think Osimhen's better than Jota.
Okay. Do you think Guirassy is better than Jota?
No. I think Jota at his best.
Jota is a cold finisher, man.
I think Guirassy's good. I think Jota at his best. Again, forget this season. I'm talking about.
Okay, but do we think he's going to get back to his best though?
Injury-wise, no. That's why I think we can improve on it. But I think in terms of ability, I think he can get back to his best, yeah.
That's the problem with Jota. We don't know if he's going to get back to his best.
and that's why I look at it when we're talking about these things and we're like, yeah, we can replace them. That's where I hear the argument because injuries come into it and stuff. But I'm talking just from an ability standpoint. If you're a slot and you had these players right now and you just came into the season, you'd look at it and be like, you'd struggle to find 5 that are attainable. Like 5, by the way. Osimhen, I agree with. Isak, I agree with.
I would go with Osimhen, Guirassy, 𝐒𝐷𝐀𝐃. You could throw in Retegui there. There is plenty of strikers that are better than Jota, and we can get them because we know Nunes is gone this summer. There's no doubt about it. That experiment is over. We tried it. 80 million down the drain. Sad, but it's reality. Nunes, you can go to Saudi Arabia or wherever you're going to go to. I think we should take, 𝐒𝐷𝐃𝐃 or I honestly would love Osimhen. I just think we need a bad boy finisher. Bad boy finisher like him. I think he's a top 5 striker in the world right now. He only costs 65 million. Is he going to have crazy wages? Not crazy, like 300K a week. He might want like 200K. All right, go sign Victor Osimhen. What is so? I don't understand why people hate on Osimhen. Is it because he doesn't have a glorious touch? Bro, he's just a bad boy finisher. You give him a chance. Okay, he's not like the most clinical finishers. You can just see like on Twitter sometimes he's got that crazy finish where he finishes to the top of the net. You're like, wow, look at Victor Osimhen. But he does miss a lot of chances. But I'd rather have him than Nunes. So sorry.
He's underrated in the area as well. A lot of people don't realize how good this man is. Like you just play up to him, and sometimes I don't know how he wins it. It doesn't look like he's a favorite to win it, but he wins it. Do you know what? At first, I would love to have got him, but then it's kind of like I always thought Liverpool were never going to go and get a striker like this. Like we'll never just go and buy an Osimhen.
Do you think the price tag would really too many issues? Like not that I would have a problem with it because I'd want Osimhen. I'm African, but I'm saying, do you think the club look at it and think the way he was moving at Napoli, quite outspoken? He's a bit of like a,
we don't have that. We need that though. Sometimes.
Eto'o, Aubameyang, they've always got something to say. There's always a problem, and they can cause disharmony to a team at times.
Yeah, but to be honest, Jerry, the Napoli president, he's a bit of a dickhead.
Yeah, it's true. No.
So I mean, Kvara, Insigne, Higuain, Cavani, Hamsik, they've all talked about ADL as the president. He's not the greatest of people. So I think Victor Osimhen was just like, bro, pay me. I brought you a Scudetto. Why don't you pay me? Osimhen's like, all right, I'm going to move on. I'll go to Galatasaray for a year and see what I can do. And I think people have kind of forgotten about Victor Osimhen because he plays for Galatasaray. Turkish Super League. What is this nonsense? Playing the Europa League, but still a quality striker, man. You give him a chance, he will finish it.
Yeah. And physically, he's just a specimen.
Oh, yeah. He would fit right into the Premier League.
Yeah. I
always thought that he'd go Chelsea, I always just looked at it.
It just seems like that's the move.
I always thought
I think the writing's on the wall. I think
the African,
the way Jon II speaks about Osimhen, it's like he knows something that
we don't know about.
Yeah, the way he's like, no, Osimhen, listen, I speak to him all the time, and listen, he wants Chelsea need to get him. They need to get him, and the way he's talking is like, I get it, but you're getting annoyed at this now. Has Osimhen declared his love to Chelsea and Chelsea just stalling, or I don't know what it is, man.
Man just wants him, bro. Just get him.
Nah, I wouldn't. You know what? I hear what Hakeem's saying. I actually understand that because it's not necessarily. I wouldn't call that a diss because Benteke at Villa. No. Benteke at Villa was mental, bro. Like that was a handful of a player that a lot of teams wanted, us included.
What I would say,
obviously later on,
I think Benteke as well. Technically, I think Benteke.
Bro, technically was mad.
Benteke, the touch and the fit, like it was quality. It was quality.
Bicycle kick in the box and that.
Yeah, Old Trafford, that was crazy. Bro, but Osimhen is done in the Champions League.
Yeah, I hear it. Yeah. I hear it.
Did Benteke ever play European football with Aston Villa? No.
I don't think. No.
I think he played Europa League with Liverpool. That's it. And that was
I think that was the year that he came in. I remember that. What if Osimhen is like Lukaku? Could be in the Serie A, but mid to average in the Prem.
Lukaku wasn't mid to average in the Prem. We gotta stop this notion. Come on, guys.
West Brom. Do you see what he was doing?
Yeah, no, it was jokes, bro.
Come on, guys.
And even Chelsea, he was doing well up until that interview.
Actually,
you know that first goal he scored against Arsenal with Reece James. Oh man, Chelsea fans were going crazy.
Do you remember the way he bullied? Who did he bully at the back? Was it
Paulo Pablo Mari. Is that his
Pablo
name?
Mari. It was Mari where he held
Something
him
like
off.
that.
Yeah, it was Pablo Mari, the Brazilian. Yeah.
Now you know what? Now you know I'm looking. Obviously, I'm just looking at stats. So, but I remember the times anyway. But his stats, they're like West Brom. Man scored 17 goals for West Brom. Like that's mad. He got 15 for Everton in the first stint. Then he got 20 in all, 25, 26. Then he moved to United, 27, 15 in the year that he left. Like, and then obviously into Milan, he got 34 and 30 in 2 seasons. Like, nah, he was more than a mid to average Premier League. But Lukaku of back then in today, well, we'd all be trying to sign him, bro.
I think that's the problem, you know, with Lukaku. He's like a striker that missed the errors. If he had come just before, I think he'd have been the main guy. He came in a period, you know, when Barca were doing Fabregas playing as a false 9 and Bobby came in and played as a... All of a sudden, everyone's looking for this striker that isn't Lukaku. You ask him to come deep and he can't do that. Do you know what I mean? But what he was at Everton and then what he... Do you know what I mean? If he had come now, and you look at what's doing for strikers now with the emergence of 𝐒𝐿𝐻𝐿 and Nunes and Haaland, and if he was 26 right now, problem.
No, I agree. No, he was... I think when he went to Italy, it was... I actually just think it's obviously the style of play over there. It just suits his game. So like he's a big, strong brother, and there was a point where he was actually kind of quick as well. So he can that kind of football. I feel like it just kind of tailored and suited him playing over there in Italy. And by the way, Inter Milan were a good team as well. Like still got Lautaro Martinez, and you still got all these other guys in the team. So it's not even like he's going to Italy and he's playing with like bums, and he's just the guy like in that kind of team. Bro, he's still playing with some top players.
Well, and also he had Antonio Conte, and Antonio Conte made him do the beep test every day. He got him slim. Slim, bro. That is the slimmest I've seen Lukaku. When he was at Inter, the dude had pace, power, finishing ability. He was an absolute monster. I wish he would have stayed at Inter, but, you know, Chelsea paid 100.
First pre-season one for Spurs as well. Conte, bro, and all their players were throwing up.
Yeah,
it's like, you guys not fit, bro. Like, they were...
Run.
Problems with Lukaku, though, is... for him to stay that slim is just not sustainable.
Yeah, I can imagine.
He's naturally just a big person. So to stay that slim, it'd be mentally draining. You know, like where he's constantly starving. Like he is. You know, because he's having to output, but naturally his body's requiring him to carry. Do you know what I mean?
We need to eat.
Like 95 kg at lean. That's him being lean. Just normal walking around weight. He's walking around like 110 kg if you're just doing normal. That's difficult. It's difficult to do that, man. So you get that for a period. It's going to fluctuate, man. It's tough.
Man. I'm just looking now. Listen, man, Lukaku, he was a guy. But listen, even back to the point where obviously what we was asking there, and even Michael even asking there or naming the players, right? Fairs. Listen, let's just go with the players that you just said, right? And you take Isak out of that equation. The rest, I hear. The thing is, I hear. This is why I get where Jerry's coming from, because I'm kind of the same. I'm like, I'm not saying that there's not necessarily better players for the system out there in Europe. So whether it's a Semenyo to a Leao, someone named, or Fofana, whoever, it really doesn't matter. Whoever you want, let's just say they could be good for the system. Would you then say though that they are that much better than the players that we've got? I don't know. Like, how much better is whoever than Diaz? And I cuss Diaz all the time. But how much better are the available players? Semenyo is not better than anyone here, but he's probably on the same level. But guess what? He offers you something different. He offers us that level of physicality, whatever it is that people like about him. Cool. But would we say he's better? I don't think he's better than these men at all. I don't think he's even better than Chiesa. We ain't even seen Chiesa play. Do you get what I'm trying to say? But it's just more about what he can potentially offer you. So this is why I always ask people, you keep cussing the team, which is fair, and I'm not saying you can't cuss the team, but then the players that you're asking for us to come in and do this, that, and the third, are they that much better? You're willing to let go of 7, 8 man, whoever that is in the team, but then we're trying to bring in all these other guys. Listen, big up to 𝐒𝐀𝐃, big up to Ryan Shirky, big up to Semenyo, big up to Kerkez, and all these. Big up to every single one of them.
Semenyo in there, take him out, bro.
Sorry, okay, we'll take Semenyo out.
Yeah,
but big up to all of these. Big up to all of these guys, right? They're good players. I'm not saying that, but let's keep it a buck. If they played for Newcastle, Nottingham Forest, or Brighton, and you saw them on a team sheet without watching them play, would you all sit there and be like, "Yeah, that's a top team"? Or would you just say, yeah, you know, this is a good team? Would it make any difference to you if I removed Liverpool from the name, didn't show you anything else, and I put all of those players there? They kind of look like players that would probably perform there. So that's why I'm asking everybody: is the team as good as you say they are, or are we just over exaggerating how good this team actually is? Because when you start to Ends put the team out the other day, the lineup builder when he was doing the team, everyone cussed it. We had Hoyson in there, we had 𝐒𝐃𝐃 in there, we had Hato in there at one point, we had Frimpong in there, Semenyo, we had
Isak,
Isak, Mbeumo,
all the players that they said they want, all the players that everyone said, but when you put it in front of them on paper, that's when
Nobody
you
liked
realize,
it.
like, raw, okay, maybe
Nobody liked it.
No.
Nobody liked it. And I was like, but these are the players that we're saying that will come into the team. And again, I rate a lot of these players, but I rate them to the extent of I rate what they're doing over there. I don't think coming over here is.
But look, there's evidence to it, right? Let's look at Diaz and Gakpo, that left-hand side. That there's a lot of conversation around. Gakpo at PSV was doing ridiculous numbers, right? And everyone was talking about, oh my God, he's next, right? Comes to Liverpool, and yeah, he's had a good season this year. I think people are over-exaggerating how good he's been. I think he's got important goals in the Carabao Cup, and he scored a lot of goals, like a decent, not a lot of goals. It's scored goals and some good performance, 100%. But he hasn't been like, yeah, Salah can go now because you got Gakpo that's going to carry the mantelpiece in the way like
that's what I hear people saying though,
and that's what people are saying. I just don't see it, right? You then look at, for example, but you look at Diaz at Porto and Diaz for Colombia, and even now he's outrageous.
Yeah, of course,
he's outrageous, right? And you saw a bit of a glimpse of it against Everton, where you feed him the ball as much as you can, and you see the problems he can go and cause. Problem is, you're not going to have that at Everton. And Semenyo right now, he's in the position of a Gakpo or whoever, any Gordon, where they're trying to feed him the ball as much as possible, so they're getting the ball. When you've got Salah on the pitch, that doesn't work. All of a sudden, Gakpo becomes the Murphy equivalent. When no one's talking about getting Murphy for Liverpool, he's still playing in that Newcastle team. No one's saying, yeah, get Murphy, get Jacob Murphy to play for Liverpool.
And his outputs is more than all the other wingers in the team right now.
Do you know what I mean? Like, exactly. No one's saying they want him. You want Gordon, but you want the guy that is the guy of the team, right? Unfortunately, when you've got Salah, he's going to be the guy because it is Salah. So these guys have to accommodate, and their whole game changes. But then when these guys independently of their, I mean, whether it's for their clubs or for their previous teams, they're quality players. They're quality players. I'm not going to sit here and say, yeah. That's why when it comes to left wing people, if people think, you know what, as this secondary option, they're not doing enough or they want more or whatever, that's cool. Get someone else. But as long as Salah, as long as we play the way we play, and Salah is the focal point of what we do, if we bring in Semenyo will be exactly the same. It will be the same, if not worse, than what Gakpo's doing. Gakpo's got way more experience. He's played World Cup. He's playing for the Dutch national team. You got, do you know what I mean? Luis Diaz, we've seen what he is in it. Like, we played Champions League. He's got way more experience. So you're asking someone to come in with none of that experience to be the guy at Liverpool, and you got Salah there. It's just not going to work for me, man.
It would have been the same thing if we even got Kvara.
Yep. And I said this to Hussam and everyone, and I said, you can get Kvaratskhelia, you can get him, but what's going to happen, because of how Liverpool play, because it's styles, and then you've got Salah as well, he's going to be doing it's the same thing. He's going to get it, same as Diaz, draw two players to him, come inside and try and fire the ball into Salah so you can try and get him 1v1. It's just going to be the same thing. And then you're going to be complaining about why is he not getting 30, 40 goals a season? Well, because A, he's not Mane, right? He's not. Mane's one of the best ever, right? He's not that yet. And B, he's playing with someone that is the guy that's an established, I mean, world-class star in the team.
If you look at the numbers though of Gakpo and Diaz, if the equivalent of like if one of them just played. I know it doesn't work like that, but at the same time, I look at it, you got 9 goals and 8 goals in the Premier League for both of them. If you look at the list as well, I don't know if you got time to bring the list up, G, in terms of the Premier League strikers, like top goal scorers, sorry. If you look at it, there's hardly like anyone really above them that you go like, okay, they're cold or whatever. The guys that in terms of wingers, I think Mbeumo's there, but he takes penalties. And then who else did I see there? Palmer, but he takes penalties as well for Chelsea. So that's where they get their added goals.
Wissa and Kluivert. But again, this is where we talk about it. And Mbeumo and Wissa are the main guys at Brentford, where everything's going through them, right? Where they are the guys. And Justin Kluivert's emerged as that performer.
It's okay. So you got Salah top, Haaland top, Isak. You're like, okay, and Chris Wood. Those are the strikers in it. You go,
Holy shit.
you accept that. That's the strikers for their clubs. And Buemo's there, 16, 14 Palmer. I don't know how many penalties. Does it say how many penalties they've taken this season?
No.
No, it doesn't. But
We know they've taken penalties. They've taken a lot.
Palmer's
they've
taken, yeah.
Worcester, yep. Look, 13 goals for Watkins. He's a main striker. Yeah, 𝐒𝐈𝐊, he had a good stint. So 𝐒𝐈𝐊 goals came around 1 month, maybe January.
And didn't he have a hat trick of penalties in one game? Wasn't that Newcastle?
So then you look at that. So slow down there for Mateta. He's been doing well this season as well. Delap is there. Obviously, their main guy takes pens as well. And then Raul Jimenez as well is there. Yeah. But then you go down and you got Diaz there. Like, so what's a number do you expect him to take? He doesn't take penalties for the club. He's normally he's a guy that's trying to get more assists and goals. Has he got into areas? Yes. To score? Yes. Has he missed chances? Yes. Like, we'll know that. But if he got given the penalties, how many penalties has Mo took this season?
Nine. So you take 8, you take 9 away from Salah with 27.
Like you said that mad fast, like you just knew that.
I knew.
Yeah, damn. You got a tattoo on you or something, Jerry. I've got it right here, tattoo.
Big up the Mandem, bro. Mandem with the maths in their head, bro.
Actually work this out. So that means Salah would be on 18 goals right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you give 9 goals to Diaz, which would mean Diaz would be on more goals than Salah. No. Yeah, no, he'd be on 18, the same amount. Yeah. To be on the same amount.
So then look where, can we scroll up then and see where 18 goals would be?
Top.
Third.
Well, no,
fourth.
You'd be fourth.
So they would have been joint. They would have been joint fourth. So that's what I'm saying. What is the expectation? You look at Ollie Watkins, right? He's one of the bad boy strikers. Arsenal wanted him. So there was times when Liverpool fans said, "Yo, let's get him in." He's on 13 goals at the moment. He's on 13 goals. He's only 4 goals off of Diaz, the guy that we said, nah, he ain't good enough.
So I was just looking at the goal conversion. So goal conversion is the second from. Okay, so just so I know when I scroll down, goal conversion, shot accuracy. That's what I'm looking at. To be fair,
Isak's is high, bro. But 28%. Man ain't playing about. Bro.
That's what I'm saying. Like that goal conversion, 28%. But we look at Wood though.
Nah, like, Woods ain't playing around, bro.
60%, and the goal conversion is 34, bro. I mean, I'm trying to think if anyone lower down the list has a good. Really, Strand Larson slyly. He's actually got kind of a good record there. His shot accuracy is pretty good.
Gee, just keep scrolling down. I just want to see what other. See, we got Gakpo on 8, then Son on 7. I'm just looking at Bowen on 7, Utara on 7, Kulusevski on 7. Like, where's Man City's wingers? Where's Savinho? Where's Doku? Where's their goals? Are Liverpool fans want to cry about Diaz and Gakpo and these sort of players. When Barcelona were their prime with Messi, Pedro and David Villa were not getting more than 15 goals a season in La Liga. They weren't, guys, because Messi was the main guy. He was getting all the goals, all the assists, and everybody would chip around with 10 to 15 goals there. Fabregas would get goals, Iniesta would get goals, but you're expecting Diaz and Gakpo to get 20 goals a game. I mean, a season, excuse me. Like, it's insanity to me. Yeah, of course, is Diaz a frustrating player? Of course, he's going to miss some chances. I mean, Gakpo, I feel like he needs to be a bit more direct in one-on-one situations. It's just ludicrous to me. I think everybody's gotten so sort of hyped up about Cristiano and Messi getting these insane amount of goals. We're back to normality, people. Normality. Prime Robin never got more than 15 goals a season in the Bundesliga.
Which is mad.
But look, even you look at what's his name, Bruno Fernandes, bro. This brother he takes everything for United, bro. Penalties, free kicks, corners, like. And you look at he's only on 8 goals, bro. Like, it's a poor Man United team. So I'll give a slash.
No,
but I mean, he has more of an opportunity to get more goals, right? Everything goes through him. So when there's a set piece, he's taking it. So that means he gets on the end of assists. When there's a penalty, he's the guy. So he has an opportunity to score corners. Same thing, set piece. Diaz don't take free kicks. Diaz don't take corners.
This is the problem.
So whatever he gets, he's got off his own back. This
is the problem you've got. If you're looking at Salah and everything's directed to Salah, and it's not we're playing to Salah, but Salah's making runs in behind like he did back in the day where we're trying to find him. It's now find Salah in his feet, right?
Mm-hmm.
You are now dictated by what Salah does. So Salah now, because he's so efficient, He's shooting and he's scoring his goals, right? And also, he's also getting and playing assists. Now, how often is it going to be a back post cross to the assist? No, it's going to be the one into the center. If you go and look at Salah's assists, a lot of them, yeah, he does the outstanding Trevellas and stuff. But a lot of the assists will just be, I've got the ball, dribble, set into midfield, McAllister has a shot, as an example. Or I square it and someone's in the box. Like, that a lot of assists will come from that. You have to, with these wingers, especially when you got Salah, the only way you can like get the best out of them is if you keep feeding them. You have to just keep feeding them. Keep giving them the ball. If you're not going to do that, that's fine, but they're not going to be as effective. That you're asking different roles from them, completely different roles. It's like if we had Chris Wood in our team. If Chris Wood had to play in Liverpool's team, he's not getting the same amount of goals as he is.
No, he's not.
No.
He's going to get like 5 goals because the rest is going to be Salah.
But definitely, Jerry, you would expect one of our strikers to be at least on 10 goals. Not Diaz or Gakpo. The striker should be on at least 10 to 15 goals for Liverpool.
Again, to my point, the central guy has to be on 10 goals. So when you look at Jota, again, I said poor season. We've spoken about the
injuries.
Yeah. But again, then you look at the player that's playing in the middle, and he's not actually playing in the middle as a result. You've got Diaz who's playing as his false 9 that floats to the left. So there's no one in the middle anyway when he plays there. So it's like you don't have a striker. Like
Liverpool never seem to have anyone in the box anyway.
Yeah.
that seems to be a massive
So
problem.
Frustrating.
Yeah, like the way that we are playing. Even
when we mention like in Mbeumo G, he's on 16 goals. So why can't he come into the team, bro?
Because isn't he a player who drifts out wide and receives the ball and then takes on a defender? Isn't that Mbeumo's game, really?
Yeah. So
get him in, back up to Salah, bro.
But the thing is, but the thing is, this is what I'm saying. So when you talk about back up to Salah, yeah, I would have him as back up to Salah.
So would I.
You speak to Brian and tell him, yeah, you're coming in, but you're only gonna be back up to Salah. Like, what? I'm playing week in, week out and getting my numbers.
Can accept it.
That's fine. I'll wait. They'll Spurs or whoever, or Arsenal. They'll. Do you know what I mean? One of them will sign me up and I'll be starting.
But then again, though, Jerry, he could go right. I'll come to Liverpool and I can get in over this brother, bro.
You can't. You know, like in it, yeah. If Salah, look, come on, yeah. Salah annoys me in it. Salah annoys me, but Salah has status right now in the team. He is arguably Liverpool's. Some people say best ever player. People say he's the best right winger or in Premier League history. People say he's the GOAT of the Premier League. Some people, right? That is what you're competing with. Salah starts no matter if he plays well, whether he's rubbish, whether he's broken toe, he's just going to play because he sells the shirts and he is Salah. You can't usurp that. You can't. So we're not going to get a right wing replacement unless he goes. You're not going to go and get that, 2 players fighting for one position until he goes because it's just Salah's. It's the same with Virgil van Dijk.
But isn't that okay? I get that part as well. And I get obviously the sentiment of that. But at the same time, doesn't the manager has his own role in this as well?
He does. But when Salah's this clinical, what can you do?
I hear that. But this is just this season. Maybe he has different thoughts going into the next one.
You can only base on, like, he knows, Salah's done this, and he done that the season before, and he done it the season before, and he done it the season before. He's probably going to do it again. Imagine your top striker went and scored 20 goals for your team, for your youth team. Scored 20 goals every single season. Got 30 goals this season. But the worst they're going to get to is 20 goals next season. And you're gonna take your chances and be like, yeah, we can get 30 again. You ain't gonna be like, yeah, let him go, let him move to another league, and we can get this player in, and hopefully he can get that. You're not gonna gamble like that unless you have to because he's left.
I think honestly, I agree by the way what you're saying. I just get quiet during that Salah conversation. I'll let you guys battle that one out. I
want to know your opinion though, G. You just
honestly, like I've said it 100 times when it comes to Salah, like. It's not wrong what people might request in terms of looking for a player who comes in and can challenge Salah. You're not wrong in asking for that. The problem is that you're asking for the Ronaldo of the team to sit on the bench. It's not happening. Doesn't matter unless this player is like a sick like Lamine Yamal. Then the player is just not going. Salah's just not going to do that. And I don't think you'd want to upset dynamics so much when he's still your best attacker. Now, that's not maybe to our opinion in terms of the way that we see Liverpool play, the way that we've seen at times it's like a little bit lopsided with Salah and whatever. That might be true. I don't feel like the manager's going to see it that way, because the reality is I've still got to manage this team. I've still got to be able to get a tune out of these guys. He is alongside the rest of the team, but he is one of, if not top 3, top 2 main reasons why we are where we are right now. Do you get what I'm trying to say? I look at it's him and say like the defense. Like those 2 components are the reason why Liverpool are top of the league by 12 points. Because without those 2 things, it's not happening. Do you get what I'm trying? And you can potentially do one without the other. And I don't think you can do, you know what I mean, scored all these goals, and you know, it's just not going to work. So that's why I feel like when it comes to Salah, he actually just needs to leave. In order for us to see these players and get better rotation and maybe a bit more balance, Salah would have to leave. He cannot stay like, and then we think, yeah, let me grab in Elise here. I know I keep saying it, Mbuemo. These men are just going to sit on the bench for time, like Chiesa, and we're just going to moan. And again, I don't even agree with that, because I would want rotation. I would want, no, you know what, Salah, today, bro, you've been stinky. Half time, I'm taking you off. I won't even keep you on for the rest of the game. But I know he's just not going to do that, because in his head, he's thinking, I can't even just take him off like that, because the reality of the situation is that he's still the best. So do I upset the apple cart? Do I? And, you know, a manager at the end of the day, he's not here to do all of that. He's just here to win games and, you know, try and do whatever. But ultimately, the players will always win, you know, in the end of this. So that's why I feel like the dynamic with Salah, he has to leave.
So do you think then for the gaffer then, for on a slot, his life would be slightly easier if he did leave?
Yes.
And he can really like, okay, let me like rebuild this in my own mold and see. But, no. Bro, that's what I said. He has to leave, bro. He cannot stay, and then we bring in other players, because the players we're bringing in, like, even if it's, if it is Mbuemo, I fucks with Mbuemo. I think he's a proper good player, right? But Mbuemo ain't coming here to get Chiesa minutes. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just, you know what I'm saying? Like, bro, come on, bro. Like, he's gone from someone who plays literally week in, week out, guaranteed starter, to Chiesa minutes. Like, okay, let me not even say he might get a bit more than Chiesa minutes, right? Just and this is what I'm saying. And then I think that would actually, listen, we only see inside training and all this kind of stuff. I hear it, but I actually think that that type of dynamic, Chiesa, if Chiesa stays, if he stays, he will not accept that next season, bro. I don't think he's gonna be like, no, that's fine, it's okay. I don't mind just getting 3 minutes. But man's not even coming on for 3 minutes at the end of the game. Like Wataru Endo came on in the 92nd minute. I'm not even seeing Chiesa do that, bro. Yeah, listen, I agree as well, because I think going into next season, I think this season where he's had his injury stuff, and I think he's like, okay, I accept the fact that I've been injured, so I'm not going to play as much, and the team's playing well. It's kind of hard to drop players out of the team. But yeah, going into next season, I feel like he will then be like, nah, I ain't having none of this, bro. I need to be playing.
Rightly so, though. Rightly so. I feel like he should be requesting, like, listen, like I say, I'll back Salah, but come on, bro. Like, I've watched too many of these games where I'm like, can you at least play Chiesa for like 10 minutes? Just so I can at least rule out Chiesa, like, definitively in my mind. Because then because you know where it's the fear of the unknown. I don't know if he's actually shit, or if, I don't know, because I don't see him play. But all I have to go on is fucking Euros and a bit of last season for Juventus, and I'm like, yeah, that's not really enough, because I'm not even seeing really too much of that in his game. But you're not even trying to play him. So
start a game in the Premier League, you're like, okay, let me see what you're about. Let me just.
And even if you start
worst case, bro, and he stinks it up, Salah is ready to go. All right, get Salah. All right, get Salah.
Exactly. That's why
we're seeing him start in the final 4 games when we wrap up the title. That's when we see Chiesa plays.
That's what we think.
No, we should be. I mean, if he doesn't, then Jesus Christ, Lot, you might need to go to the Hague and be tried for what you've done to Chiesa. By the way, Chiesa will probably want to get a move this summer. Into the World next year. Because his spot with Italy is gone. He's not even getting selected anymore. I think guys like Raspadori, who's got awful, or what's the guy's name? Raspadori. I forgot the other player's name that gets selected for Italy. But these guys are getting ahead of Chiesa. Chiesa has to look at his career right now. And this summer, he's got to force a move to whatever club, AS Roma, maybe to another Premier League team. We can see that there's the quality in this player, just not getting the minutes. So as a player yourself, you got to now kind of be selfish. You're at a good team at Liverpool, but now you have to look after your career for Chiesa.
No, it's true, man. And again, this just goes back to the whole question I'm asking is like, have we been that good, or like are we over exaggerating? Are we underestimating? Like, I don't know, man. Like, because we look at a lot of these players, and like I said, we'd be willing to sell, bring in these other guys. We're talking about a lot of these players, and we're like, yeah, this guy's okay, that guy's okay. Like I said, it's a question that's going to rumble on. Like I said, I don't care, people. That is the caveat or the disclaimer I want to put out there. We just want the title. We're all Liverpool fans. Man's fucking tired of just being the bridesmaid all the time. It's kind of good being, you know what I mean, the main event, you know, every now and again, you know, kind of thing. But it is, I think, an interesting one. I just don't like when people are disingenuous with their conversations. That's what I don't like. And I feel like too many people, whether it's YouTube content creators, whether it's just random in the chat, you're too disingenuous with the kind of conversation that you're having. And bearing in mind, well, we all listen and we all read. Yeah, I'm always someone, I always take I take what people say literal. So if you tell me that this player's sick, you cannot tell me that this player's shit a week later. Like my brain just won't compute that. I then can't. Or if you said the other way around, you think this guy's shit, good a week later, like bro, like give it some time. Do you know what I'm saying? Like let's let it marinate for a little bit. And then
that's our problem though as well, G. I think we're too literal sometimes. We take people's word for what they say. Like, and which is fair, because if I said like a player's, you man will get onto me if he, do you know what I mean? If the next week I go, bro, I don't even think he's that good. You'd be like, bro, so why did you tell us that he was good last week, bro? Like,
yeah, no, it's
but
true.
I feel like maybe we take things too literal. But then that's hard, because then you're listening to someone speak and they're telling you their point of views, and you listen, going, oh, okay, I agree. And then a week later they change it. You're like, right, should I still listen to this guy, bro?
No, G, I got a question for you, because I didn't watch the early parts of the stream. So if we gave a rating from 0 to 10, and 10 was like, wow, Liverpool were amazing this season, they'll be an all-timer, where would you put Liverpool in that? 0 to 10.
6.
Yeah, I could see that. I would go like 7.
Okay, and I won't argue. Okay, just for the sake of argument, we'll go with 7 then. Because they're definitely above average. I don't think it's like been below average.
I think it's like the last 3 months have kind of clouded a lot of Liverpool fans into what we did from August to December. Yeah. Like August to December, we were, I thought, really amazing. Yeah. With the performances we had, we created. Remember that I sent you that chart yesterday, G, of all the runs in behind we had? I was like, wait, is that actually what happened? I don't know if G can bring it up. You guys can see it, because that's a crazy. I think Slot has just gotten a little bit afraid in the last 3 months, and he's just like, I don't care. Just give me the title, and maybe we'll improve over the summer. We got more preseason. I can bring in other players. Maybe that's what we're going to see from Slot. But overall this season, I'm actually very happy the way we have played, considering that Slot had absolutely no backing. I mean, Pep got all the players he wanted in the January transfer window. Arteta has gotten all these players. All these Ten Hag in his first season with Manchester United got to sign all player after player after player, where Slot has had nothing to do with. Yeah, look at this chart, guys. This is crazy to me. Look at Arsenal. They were at the bottom, G, almost, and then they went up with the runs in behind.
It's mad, like. But look at when you showed me the Liverpool, I was like, fucking hell. So the runs in behind in the build-up before January, we were on 9.57. So you guys can see a Liverpool third on this list here, yeah. Then now look post January. Since then, look at the runs in behind for Liverpool. All the way, look,
we put the safety on, bro.
4.71
safety mode.
That is. Do I think the problem is though? Is that like runs in play, innit? Like just runs in behind the defense, correct?
Yeah.
People clocked onto Liverpool. We're still transition based. You know, like as a manager, you can imagine Slot comes in, right? In the first part of the season, you're thinking, yeah, they're going to try and play ball. You probably analyze what Slot's done at final. You're like, yeah, he speaks about, Pep Guardiola, and we're going to keep it. And we're playing different players in positions and stuff. Liverpool just ended up playing in transition. Once the space isn't there now, you have to break us down. And we're probably knackered as well. Probably Salah's not making as many runs and stuff like that. But have City been good this post-Jan window, would you say?
Improved, yes. But you can still see the team is fragile.
It's like it just improved, but I wouldn't say.
I mean, come on, bro. They won one game in like 15 games.
Yeah. But look at theirs. To be fair, theirs has gone up though. They make, but then again, you got Marmoush now, innit?
That's
Yeah.
why.
That's why Marmoush.
Yeah, Marmoush is making those runs, bro.
I think that was the initial tweet about it, that Marmoush has improved the runs in behind. And I mean, the dude is. Remember that? Was it the Chelsea game? The dude was like, "Hey, hello, I'm here." Like waving his hand up, like to the teacher. Like, just put the ball in behind. I'll run to it. I don't know why they don't do that for Holland.
I can't believe Liverpool didn't get him. You know.
Marmoush.
Now, okay, but I won't lie. Before I was very skeptical, but watching him now, I'm like, okay,
he's a baller, bro.
Do you remember I said to you, and I was like, remember I wasn't on it as well like you, and then I was like, obviously I didn't watch any clips. I then went and watched one clip of him in it, and I was like, and then I saw the first game and the way he was getting that, telling players where to go and stuff. I was like, I'm like, yeah, it's over, man. They've done the right thing. That's a Liverpool signing. I can't believe we didn't get him.
Yeah, he is a Liverpool signing, isn't he? Like, yeah,
from a team that's all right in Germany.
That's all right. Yeah,
a known entity like that. Do you know what I mean? And City don't really buy those players, you know. But
you see the type of money that they spent on him, though, innit? So whether Liverpool was like, oh, if we were the only one in, we would have got a better deal. But City's like, we don't care, bro. We want him, so pay whatever, innit?
I think almost every signing that City have done in the Bundesliga has been almost 10 out of 10.
Yeah, Kanji, Haaland, Gundogan, fucking
KDB,
Marmoush.
You're right.
Yeah.
Yo, that man do not miss with the Bundesliga ones, you know.
Fuck. Did Edison come straight from? Was it Portugal? Or was it
Benfica? Yeah.
Benfica. Yeah.
Same with Ruben Diaz.
But it's mad. Again, I'm just thinking about that that chart, man. Like, it's mad. So yeah, we did really go like super pragmatic, man. Like super pragmatic. Like we just, and the thing is, I don't know why though. Like ENDZ's spoken about this before about the way that we like with Gravenberch obviously not like playing that well and we're not really using him anymore, kind of thing. Like, and obviously you're seeing. I'm not saying that he's the reason why we're not playing runs it behind, but it's just interesting to see that we're doing far less runs in behind. We're not playing through Gravenberch anymore, which then in turn he started playing poorly. Like in this period of time, the attack is being stinky for whatever reason that they're just being stinky. It's interesting. I wonder why.
It links in as well, though, G, because we don't go into him. What we used to do was compact the middle, didn't we? We tried to put all of our players in there and draw in their midfielders. And then once we play into Gravenberch, he'll turn and then he will either carry it forward and then he would have released someone in behind. But now we're not using him. So now when we're going wide, we're going into feet more often. We're not really going in behind. And the only time we go in behind is when Trent plays, because then he'll knock it in behind because someone will make the run. But other than that, it's just because we switched up the way we've been playing.
But the thing is, you can't though, because Gravenberch, if a team like, if you look at like Newcastle, right, Joe Linton and that just sat right next to, like, just right behind Gravenberch and didn't go and look to press the centre backs. So if you go and look at it, Konate and Virgil and Kwanzaa and whoever getting bare of the ball and just touching it, that's fine. You're not hurting us. We'll sit in here, fine. At one point, you're going to try and play in that middle. Gravenberch isn't, do you know what I mean, Xabi Alonso or Sergio Busquets, where he knows where he's already passing it. He's drawn two players, but he's flicking it around the corner with a pass. He's trying to take a touch and drive, as you said. If that space isn't there, you've nullified him now.
But then also as well, though, Jerry, I think, yeah, you're right in that as well. But when you stop using a player, you then take away their confidence as well, because you know there's moments when you're trusted in the team. And the man goes, right, I'll play into you no matter what. But then after a while, I start going, nah, don't.
I don't think it's a thing where they've said we're not playing through Gravenberch. I think they've tried to do that and he gets caught on the ball. Or all he does is pass backwards. If you go and look at it, Gravenberch gets it now, and a lot of the time it's just a one touch backwards. Whereas before, we were seeing him two players next to him, but there's space in behind because the forwards made the run that way or Soboslai's made a run that way, drops the shoulder, he's beaten two, and now he's releasing players. Now, they're not even following that. Teams are catching on. So like, all right, cool. Go on. We'll let you have the ball here. We're just not allowing you to turn. But because he's not getting it facing players and then he's able to thread balls through like Gerrard, even like what Trent does, where he can turn and face you and then start playing passes into people's feet. You've nullified him. So now it's like, we're trying to use you. He still gets loads of touches of the ball, but just not in those areas.
Not in the areas where we were before.
So now it's like, you've nullified him. All right, cool. Who are you going to work through?
Well, we got to change it then, bro. Like, I'm saying we got to change it. We're still winning games of football, innit? So just keep winning. But I want to see us go back to that, bro, and just trust it. Because it felt like we were trusting a process, and then we just went, Nah.
The thing is, we weren't. I don't
But
think
why would we have gone nah if it was working? That's
yeah,
the bit I don't get.
it's not. I don't think it's the defenders, isn't it?
That's mad, man. I just saw this. I ain't gonna read all of that, but you guys can check it out for yourself, to be honest. But KDB, yes, will be leaving Manchester City.
Oh shit! Really?
Oh
Yeah,
shit!
he's leaving Manchester City come the end of the season.
Damn.
It's mad. It's mad. It's mad.
He's
Because
been needy over the last couple of years, man. Sorry, bro. They end up missing him.
I feel no, but okay, yeah, I'm here.
Last couple of years, no. This season, yeah, you can say that.
This
Last
season,
year as
yeah,
well,
but
bro. He
I would
played
say
half a season last year as well, bro. Like,
and he came in and was still better than everybody else.
I mean, that first game he had when he returned was in
he
Newcastle
got like
away.
5 assists.
Yeah,
But who was that against? They got the 5 assists. Haaland scored the 5 goals. When it like some dead team, bro. Like, sorry.
Well, I
And
remember
we're talking about the quality of the league. Now you're saying that these are dead teams. Pick one. Pick a battle that you're trying to.
I remember they were losing the game against Newcastle. He came on or drawing it. He came onto the pitch and won the game.
Bro, that was one of the best games I've ever seen, bro. Like
That was unbelievable from KDB.
Like, bro, it was just you come off the bench after how many
Stop
months?
living in the past, man. He's gone, bro.
I mean, he's still here. I mean, he's
Wow.
still here, but you know, it's okay. I don't know. Ends maybe I don't know if there's some beef you got with KDB.
Nah, he's gone, innit?
Where do you guys think he's going? MLS?
Saudi.
MLS. I would say MLS.
Saudi, bro.
Imagine KDB and Trent in the same team.
Don't let Savage fool you.
Yeah, but one of them would struggle, wouldn't they? Because of the what they go through one, they don't need the other one.
I feel like because if he's got kids in that, something in my head tells me that I'm sure he's spoken about going to America before though. Like he's spoken about, I want to go there, like at some point. So I feel like he would go there. I feel like, but okay. So I'm just gonna ask you a question. If he said, you know what, my kids, you know what I mean, they go to school here. I already, you know what I mean, I do carpool with Virgil van Dijk.
yes.
You guys grab KDB, like that's what I'm asking.
Yes.
Like just on a 1 year, but we get to potentially extend it. We have the option to extend. Would you guys do that?
Yeah.
Liverpool would never do it, bro.
They never do it.
And I'm just living a dream.
No,
man.
it's crazy because we had this conversation. Why don't Liverpool do these things? Remember yesterday we had the same conversation. Why don't we loan players? Like, why don't we like there's players up for grabs around the top teams and we go, nah, we ain't interested. Why don't we do that? If KDB for a year thing, run it for a year, bro. Just run it in it. Like, what's the?
But a lot of teams, you're right. A lot of teams of the past have done that, where they've just signed a brother where they don't. I'm not looking for 3 years. I'm looking for you to bang today and maybe next.
Can you be a difference maker off the bench for us? Can you be a difference maker?
That's my point. Imagine bringing off KDB when you need whatever. Trent's not there, right? Trent's gone, but we need the delivery in the last moment. You know he's gonna put it on us. You know it's just gonna go in the right area for someone to attack.
You know what? This sounds great, guys, but this just could be like a Carmelo Anthony at the Lakers situation.
Oh, come on.
I hear it. No. I hear it. This is what I'm saying. I'm not bringing him in to be a starter. He ain't starting him.
Exactly.
I mean,
Hey, you guys remember Carmelo at the Lakers? Holy shit, that was terrible.
Listen, one little season, bro, little 12-month thing. You know what I mean? Just come here. Let's see what you can do, bro. You're a Liverpool fan. Apparently, in the video we saw when you were young, you said Michael Owen and I'm a Liverpool fan.
He said
I'm a Liverpool fan.
And they can go and do the little, the biopic of him as a kid and Owen as a kid, and then you just merge into one. Like they both belong.
Bro. Sell it to us. For a year, I would take it. Why not?
I can't lie. KDB for 1 season, bro, I'm taking
experience for the Premier League.
I just want to see at Anfield, him just get the ball on that right hand side and zoop into 𝐒𝐔 or whoever that is. That one whipped ball. Inject it.
Oh, guys, we can only
do time, bro. Is he gonna be pointing over his shoulder? What would he do?
Say that again.
Would 𝐒𝐔 celebration stay the same? The one where he points over his shoulder?
Because he'd be like, he'd be pointing to my
man. Okay.
Pointing to KDB, be like, come on, bro, that's the guy right there. You know what I'm saying?
If Virgil's like, nah, I don't even like him anymore. You're like, don't disrespect me like that. That's a disrespectful thing. He's gone, this, like, get this.
Nah, but I like that. We said this, Savage just said this yesterday, man. Like the team.
No, I love it.
Personality, bro.
I love it. 100%. I love it. But you know, like Verge, clearly he's a bit soft in it when it comes to stuff like that. You know, he's getting onto Michael
We'll
Owen.
get triggered, bro.
Tony, bro, getting triggered, bro. I don't know why you always so triggered.
Getting triggered. Did that trigger him? Is that why Verge isn't signing now? Is that no? I'm hearing Isak. No, I don't even want to be in.
You know. So just before we head on out of here, obviously honestly just put this in. He's talking about the points tally from these 4 teams, since 5 teams. Sorry, yeah, 5 teams since 18-19, right? And I haven't checked this myself. I'm just gonna go. Yeah. Honestly, obviously, I know it's legit. Do you guys equate points to the quality level of a team and stuff like that? Like, is that something that you look at and be like, yeah, because they got X amount of points, they must be good? Or, yeah, is it contextual for you guys?
Can't be the sole metric, but yeah, you have to kind of use it because obviously it tells the quality of the team that they consistently get high points, right? But it can't be the only metric. So if you only use that to judge a team whether they're good or not, yeah, then that's mad.
Like, you know, like Liverpool fans, for example, one of the things I kept seeing for quite a long time was, I can't remember which year it was. Was there the year we got like, was it 100 points out of 100 and there was something like, I can't remember what year it was. But we kept using that as like a metric, right? As in like, oh, look how good the team is. Now, I'm not saying the team wasn't good during that period, but we only won 1 Premier League title. And in that time, I think Man City were going on to win their 2nd Premier League title with less points than what we had in that time. So I'm just trying to figure out, like, when we look at the points thing, I'm like, does that matter to everybody? Like, for me, it doesn't tell me anything. Like, I don't look at that and think anything because I'm just like, but the points are the points. Like, Manchester United have 13 Premier League titles. How many times did they ever get 99 points? None. Does it matter at this point? Did you get what I'm trying to say? Like, it doesn't mean anything for me. What it means is that season that you got whatever points, that's what you needed to do whatever it is that you did.
It's a conversational starter, right? If you wanted to pivot and have different types of conversation, but yeah, in the grand scheme, it doesn't. It's a factor when you're talking about how good a team is. Like, okay, this team, this squad accumulated this. Like, okay, they're good, but it can't be the sole factor how you judge a team. Can't be, because you're right. Like, even if you use like Harry Kane for an example, he scores bare goals for Spurs, but he didn't equate to winning anything, bro. So even though we got all of these points, it's still only equated to 1 Premier League title. So yeah, it's crazy.
I mean, 2 seasons ago when Barcelona won the title with Xavi, I think they got like 93 points. That team wasn't good. All they did was just win 1-0 all the time. But people will see the 93 and be like, oh my God, scintillating Barcelona football. Bro, they were ass cheeks. They were just getting 1-0, 1-0.
Okay, man. I feel like you're being quite hard.
There's a couple of little 2s and a 5 in there.
Gee, what happened the next season? Xavi got sacked.
Yes, because he just couldn't sustain what he had done in that first season because it wasn't that good.
Because he tried to play defensive football. Well, not defensive football, but controlling football. And it was his downfall.
Yes.
And then Hansi Flick comes in and trebles on.
Now the football is brilliant. You know what I'm saying? Now the
football is brilliant.
You know what I'm saying? Like, now everyone likes watching Barcelona. But yeah, no, I hear it. I hear it. This is why I just don't really take the points thing like that because, like I said, I just want the trophies, bro. I don't care if Liverpool end the season today on I don't know how many points. If it could just end like that, fantastic, absolutely amazing. End it like that. I don't care about the points thing. Like, I just don't look at that at all, bro. Sorry, go on.
When did that change though for us? I don't know if it's the same for everyone and maybe the chat as well. When did it change where we'd rather get to the destination than the journey? You know, before it used to be like, yo, the season and we won this game and there was a great goal and a great moment and this and that. But now we're like, yo, just get me to the finish line. Bro.
I spoke about this on my channel like 2 years ago, man, when I was doing the stuff. You've won now, bro. Everything changes. When you win, the journey, you've experienced it now.
You've already been there now. Like,
you won too often now. Now it's like Chelsea don't have journeys. They had the Champions League journey maybe with Drogba and stuff because they've never done it. The Premier League was, come on, City journey. Yeah, they had when they won the Champions League and when they won the Premier League. After that, it's just win the next one.
All I'm hearing is that we're snobs now, bro. Like we just
no, but that's what I'm saying. Back then, I'm telling you, Lambert and that, I was happy with that, and I went in with hope every single season. Now,
no, but I'll be like. Yeah, 100%.
Do you know how mad it would be if we had like the players we don't rate, players we don't rate in the team. Do you know how mad it would be if we had them 10 years ago, 15 years ago?
What Diaz, Gakpo's, and the Nunes, bro.
All of them, Nunes, all of them.
Nunes would
Van
be
Dijk.
even bigger. He'd be a legend right now. He'd be
He'd be a
considered.
legend.
Konate.
All of them, all those players that we'd be like, oh my god, like we've got this player. Like imagine we had Kwanzaa coming through even now. Back then, like we'd be like, we've got the best center. We've got Carragher's replacement. Like that's what we're saying. Whereas now he's not good enough. You're not Verge, bruv. You just experienced too much now. You've had the apple, and your third eye, your pineal glands open, and that's it now. You know what it is. You know truth. You know life. And you know what it is. It's just like Like for me now, I've seen Mane with my own eyes. I've seen it. I've seen Bobby and Salah with my own eyes. I've seen Virgil van Dijk. No one can tell me otherwise. No, there's not going to be a better centre back than Virgil for me.
Yeah, here.
These times. In 50, 60 years' time, I'm going to be that old head. Yeah, but you're not good. He's not as good as Virgil van Dijk. They're like, who's that?
These guys are next young G just coming through doing his thing, boy. And then you're gonna get, as Jerry said, all the kids are gonna be like, bro, Virgil, nah, he wasn't even all that.
I would check his GA blood. Said, yo, his tackle ratio was low.
Listen, in the future, when defenders are like centre backs are scoring 25 goals a season, they're definitely gonna start looking at GA for defenders.
That's already beginning with some 17-year-old centre back in Belgium. That's Tottenham alone.
Bro,
he's got 10 goals this season.
You see? It's already kicking in.
And Mike's going to be on streams, beard grey, do you know what I mean? Like, probably Spanish and tanned and stuff, being like, you guys don't even understand. You don't understand. Nah, this guy, bro, he couldn't get 20 goals a season. He wasn't making overlaps.
Bro, centre back underlapping and overlapping. Like, honestly,
to be fair, like Gabriel for Arsenal, bro, he could have probably done that. To be fair, he could have probably hit 25 and the amount of corners they were putting in.
How many goals does he have?
Let me see. Let me go.
Yeah, Arsenal.
He's injured, isn't he? He's injured to the end of the season.
Yep, he's gone.
I feel sorry for him, man. Speak. Arsenal apparently getting bare these like injuries, like hamstring injury that he's got.
If they're jumping that amount, you know what I mean? At one point it's gonna pop.
He's got 3 goals.
I just got 3. He had more than that, to be fair.
Maybe last season.
He got 5 in all competitions.
Do you know what it is? It's just it lands on his head so much, and and that's what it is. It's just the fear in it.
Yeah, you're just like, it's going in. It's gonna go in. It's gonna go in.
I mean, to be fair, in his whole Arsenal career, he's got 20 goals.
20,
bro. I swear, last season he got like 10, bro. I swear he was scoring.
Hold on. How many does Nunes have? Just
don't do that.
We're not doing that.
Don't do that. Don't do that. Goals? No, we're not doing that, bro.
So we just
𝐒𝐷𝐻𝐿𝐷 has 5 goals.
Really?
Yeah, Milinkovic for Nottingham, he's got 4 goals.
Oh.
Nunes got double that. Like, exactly double that.
Double 40.
He's got exactly 40 goals for Liverpool.
He's got 40 goals.
Yeah, bro. I thought this is what I'm saying. Last season when he got 33 goal contributions,
No. How can you go from 33 goal contributions? We're talking about goals. How many goals did he get last season? And I know you know it.
18.
Yeah.
He got 18. He got 18.
Yeah. So,
but he's got altogether in his time at Liverpool, he's got 40 goals.
So,
in all
so could we make the argument?
50, bro.
So could we make the argument if we had Gabriel up front and just whip the ball in, he'd get more goals?
He'd probably score more. Yeah, he'd probably score more. Probably score more. Nah, listen, I'll leave that one there. But guys, look, man, I'm gonna wrap it up there, man. It's been good chopping it up with the guys, man, every single time. Make sure you guys subscribe to everybody's channel. Mike, I know you just dropped actually. I was actually watching. You're saying I wasn't paying attention to my own stream. I was actually watching your stream in the background, your Europa League stream. Have you got anything planned for today, man? For the rest of the day?
No, chilling this weekend, bro. It's 25 Celsius here.
Okay, well, that was just rubbing it in for no reason. ENDZ, have you got any plans in our 20-degree or 18-degree weather?
We're in 18. Well, mine's 19 at the moment. So
hey, shit, that's pretty warm for me.
Mine is if we're not all in the same area of London, bro.
No, I don't know if we're the same, but I've got 19 and clear sky is blue and it's beautiful outside. So, yeah, nothing. I've got a video I need to upload in a minute, so I'll upload that in a minute. But other than that, yeah, there's just videos getting uploaded, bro. There's so many videos coming out. Today, what is it? Friday today, right? 6 o'clock, man. Episode 4 of Who Said What will be out.
Quality series, by the way. Quality, man. Quality. Savage is a menace on that show.
Oh,
Hey,
100%.
listen, he knows his friends, man. The rest of these guys don't know each other at all, boy.
Hold on, and what did you say it was? You said it's 18. That's 21 degrees over here. That's crazy.
Oh,
Anyway,
hold on, let me double
clearly-
check. No, let me double
Nah,
check.
it's okay. It's okay.
No,
Like,
I
clearly
need to
for
double
you,
check.
it's cold
That
over
was
there.
that was about 2 hours ago, so maybe it
damn.
changed.
Oh, okay, fairs.
I mean,
Nah, it's sunny. Look at the nice weather. Look. It's there.
Yeah, bro. That is in.
oh, yeah, mine's going up to 22, so by 3 o'clock. That's what it says.
Oh, yours is only 22 by 3 o'clock. Ah, okay, fairs.
Only 22. Yeah, I'm 30 degrees. I just turned up the heating in my house, bro.
As in, I've got the fan on. That's how hot it is. I've got the fan on. Like, it's mad.
Wow, we competing about how hot it is, bro. Like, just calm, bro.
Nah, I'm basically in a sauna. I'm sitting-
All right.
Oh, that is funny. But yeah, look, Ed said obviously who said what. Again, it was a very interesting conversation. This one was this is the
You know
last
how
one.
much
Yeah,
stuff
the
I have
last
to
one.
take out,
Yeah.
by the way, though, G, because I
What?
don't think some of the stuff was said that can be aired, bro. Nah, bro, there was some
Wow.
listening. Do you know when you listen back, even when you're on a stream, right, and you sit and listen to it back, you realize how much stuff is said that you don't take in. Like, I was like, Rom, he said this. I was like, nah, I can't take that out. That's crazy. So yeah, nah.
Guys, Ed isn't trying to give us the bloopers or like the you know the tune
That's the
comes out, like,
Patreon
no swearing
comment.
and that.
Hmm.
That's the Patreon content.
Yeah, man. Like, come on, Ends, man. Like, you're trying to give us the track with no swearing and that. Like, we want the swearing.
That's how
that
YouTube
we
works, bro.
understand.
I wish I could. Hey, listen, I do have a Patreon. Great, Nick mentioned that. Sorry, Michael mentioned that. I've got a Patreon, so I might upload him on there.
There you go.
There you go.
Guys, make sure you go and head on over to Enz's
Yeah, 'cause
Patreon.
some of the stuff said, bro, I don't. Yeah, it can't be aired, bro.
No. Peach is saying decent pod guy, a little bit condescending in parts, but pretty good overall. Guy in brown, who's like, oh my, brown hoodie nose bull. Bye. Okay, I guess the guy in green, white, and black are absolutely useless. Nobody here.
Adios.
Nah, but listen, man, I will be back maybe at some point. It's going to be half term, so I know I'm going to be with little man. So I don't know. Maybe I'll be back over the next couple of days. If not, yeah, there'll be videos dropped regardless. So just make sure you guys obviously just stay locked in, stay tuned, and yeah, man, we'll take it from there, man. But big up to everybody in the damn building. I'll catch you guys soon.